That's how powerful it is. Before I get to Ezekiel, I got a word on my way. The time has come for you to surrender. Rich, I heard, tell the people from the upper echelons of society who feel comfortable in their mansions, tell them teachers, them doctors, them lawyers, tell all those people who believe that they don't want salvation. And that's what this is about this morning. Your salvation is nigh. Now, the gift of salvation is being offered this morning. And I'm asking who needs it, because the time has come for you to receive your salvation. Nothing else matters right now. I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, right now is your moment. Ezekiel said, the word of the Lord came to me, son of man. I thought about it, and Mother Nellie sound the alarm with the scripture. She lies there every day meditating, and now she has released the word. Son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord says to the land. Jamaica, hear me well this morning. The end has come. I don't know why this is happening this week before next week, but we're telling somebody this morning, the end has come upon the four corners of the land. Upon the four corners of the land. I don't know what's about to happen, Jamaica. This is on my way to surrender. Rich, I heard, tell the people from the upper echelons of society who feel comfortable in their mansions, tell them teachers, them doctors, them lawyers, tell all those people who believe that they don't want salvation. And that's what this is about this morning. Your salvation is nigh. Now, the gift of salvation is being offered this morning. And I'm asking who needs it, because the time has come for you to receive your salvation. Nothing else matters right now. I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, right now is your moment. Ezekiel said, the word of the Lord came to me, son of man. I thought about it, and Mother Nellie sound the alarm with the scripture. She lies there every day meditating, and now she has released the word. Son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord says to the land. Jamaica, hear me well this morning. The end has come. I don't know why this is happening this week before next week, but we're telling somebody this morning, the end has come upon the four corners of the land. Upon the four corners of the land. I don't know what's about to happen, Jamaica, but here is a word confirmed by four persons. The end is now upon you, and I will unleash my anger against you. I will judge you according to your conduct and repay you for all your detestable practices. This is a problem of this nation. We have gotten to a place where we enjoy carrying out detestable practices on each other, one another, and on the land. God says, I will judge you according to your conduct, and repay you for all your detestable practices. That means it's not one, it's many. Like and share this thing quick and fast. I will not look on you with pity any longer. I will not spare you no more. The time has come. Somebody, I'm begging you this morning, run for your salvation now, before it's too late. The Lord says, I will spare you no longer. I will surely repay you for your conduct and for the detestable practices that is among you, Jamaica. Lord God, what is this? Somebody like and share this thing. I want a lot of people. Tell somebody, turn on the radio. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Jamaica, some things are about to happen, and you will know who is God in this land. You will know who is in control, and you will know that you have missed the mark, and you have made a mistake, and continue to make it. Jamaica, the time has come. My God. My God. My God. Holy Jesus. Holy God. My God. This is what the Lord says. I'm scared. Disaster unleashed. Disasters unheard of. Disaster. See, it is coming. Jamaica. Disaster is coming again. Central Jamaica. South Central. Hey, God Almighty. Disaster is coming. The end has come. The end has come. It has rose itself against you. See it come. This week, Jamaicans, social media all over, I hear a hollering, I hear a hush, I hear a scream from Jamaica. When the venom, when the rollout, when the revelations has hit the nation, there will be a numbness, there will be unease, uncertainty, discomfort, disaster. Jamaica, you were warned. Get ready. Get ready. I heard that I must tell you, your God is about to fail you. I heard I must tell you, your God is about to fail you, Jamaica. Your God. Not the God that I'm talking about in the Bible, you know. Not my God, the God of heaven and earth, the God of Isaac and Jacob, the God of Israel, and the God. No. Your God, Jamaica. The one you have chosen to be your God. And not the one who wants to be your God. You have made a choice. And disaster, disaster, disaster. See, it's coming. Doom has come upon you. Doom, 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 doom upon you who dwell in the land. Those, I'm not talking foreigners who go and come. Those who dwell in the land. What is this? The time has come, the day is near. There is panic. I heard Jamaicans panicking this coming week. There will be a panic. There will be no joy on the mountains of Jamaica from Blue Mountain to Jonquil Mountain. There will be panicking, unease, and no joy left in the land. There will be numbness when such speech is made. Jamaica, God said to tell you, get ready, because he sees panic, no joy on the mountain, because I'm about to pour out my wrath on you and spend my anger against you. Turn. Last minute, run. Hurry, come. This is your time. Your time has come. Your time has come. I will judge you according to your conduct and repay you for all your detestable practices. There's some people I hear saying right now, why you come with that? We don't want to hear that. It's all good. Everything's going to be fine. Don't come with your judgment. Don't come with your doom and gloom. We don't want to hear it. Oh, you don't want to hear the truth? You don't want to hear the truth? But listen out. This week, this coming week, I heard the time has come. It has come. I told you months ago, time is the master. I told you when you were bashing on me and the breakthrough ministry, that time is the master. And now this morning, I think it's the 14th, day of the month of March. The number 7, book of Ezekiel, and watch the number 7, God's number, the 7th chapter of the book of Ezekiel, verse 7 says, doom has come upon you who dwell in the land. This is not safe. This is not safe. I will not look on you with pity. I will not spare you. I will repay you for your conduct and for the detestable practices among you. Then you will know that it is the Lord who strike you. Oh, today is the 15th. Yes, the 15th. The middle of the month. Verse 10. See the day. See it come. Doom has burst forth. The rod has buddled. Arrogance has blossomed. One of the problems I find with Jamaicans these days is a spirit of arrogance. Arrogance to the truth. All your collections from September to now is finished. You've been arrogant in your behavior and your attitude. Hey, your arrogance as a nation has blossomed to the point where God's wrath and anger has also blossomed against us. I feel refilled. Your arrogance has led to this. Violence has arisen. Violence has arisen because of your arrogance of not wanting the truth, but live a spirit of lie, deception all over you. You went for the evil instead of the good. You went for the bad. You went for the ungodly instead of the godly. You went for the lies instead of the truth. You were arrogant, and now we'll pay. And I see violence has arisen, a rod of punish the wicked. None of the people will be left, none of that crowd, none of their wealth, none of their value, none of their crowd, none of their wealth, none of their value. The time has come, the day has arrived. Let not the buyer rejoice. The buyers, Jamaica, this coming week to the 1st of April, Jamaica, the buyers will not rejoice in the land anymore. The price will be out of our reach. Do you hear what the word says? Can I echo? Lord God, the day has arrived. Let not the buyers rejoice, nor the sellers grieve. What is this? Jesus Christ. The Bible declaring there will be a problem, Jamaica, with buying and selling. The price will be too much out of the reach of the poor and the needy. Jamaica, why you didn't listen? Why you didn't hear? And now we all will feel. For my wrath is on the whole crowd. The sellers will not recover. Lord Jesus Christ, this is crazy. The sellers will not recover no profit. My God. Lord Jesus. The sellers will not recover the properties that were sold. Mercy, God. As long as both buyers and sellers lived, for the vision concerning my God, this is not good, you know. This is not good. Jamaica, this is not good. What is going to happen? The buyers and sellers, there's going to be an upheaval, big problem between buying and selling in the land. I saw after Melissa what happened with the food. The markets got so expensive that one little flimsy pepper was selling for over $100 Jamaican. I cannot forget, went to Christiana Market and tried to buy pepper. I was traveling market to market seeking to get price. And when I touched down and heard the prices, I almost fell through the ground. But here Ezekiel is stepping us to a place where we're gonna have serious issues here with buying and selling. What is this? What is not this? Lord God, I need my trumpet. This is serious. I'm shaking, you know, Jamaica. Jamaica, I am nerving us. My father, Apostle.
Yes, Major.
Marshall Taylor has joined me.
Amen.
I am excited that you have joined me because I might have shook out of my seat on this matter. Nothing? On this matter that is occurring here. Yeah. Just a second, let me get Apostle stringed up here.
How you guys doing? Are you guys hearing me clearly over there on OBS? Welcome to the platform, Mr. Brother Bolo VNR. You heard what the prophet had to say, and if you didn't, don't worry, I will be posting it. Lady J, how are you? Karen, how are you? Listen to me now, people. I don't know if you guys follow. I follow three three men of God, particularly, and there's others I watch in terms of other, you know, women and men of God that have been speaking on social media. And there's a consistency about the prophetic regarding Jamaica. Jamaica is under judgment. We've been under judgment since Hurricane Melissa. That was a small impact compared to what is coming. So what the prophet is saying here is not surprising me. There are media pundits out there and political worshippers of the Jamaica Labour Party and Andrew Holness that want to play down the impact of their tax plan that they're coming with and the plans that they have on how to move forward. But unfortunately, the reality is going to hit, and that reality, I believe, is what the Dr. Bishop Mark Stewart is talking about in what he's seeing in the spiritual. I believe that the people are going to be, for the first time, reacting very negatively to what the government has put forth in front of them, because it's going to go down to the bottom line of them truly not being able to afford food, not being able to pay their bills, literally like way worse than it would have ever been. That's just me. What I am looking at, you know. And then one of the interesting things that I've heard as well from Apostle Shuttleworth that has aligned with this message as well, the targeting of the rich, the persons that, you know, they worship their money. Money is their God. So they don't recognize the Creator. They believe that, you know, I am financially sound, I am wealthy, so whatever comes, you know, you're going to be able to be okay. I don't think that's going to be the case moving forward. Based on what I'm hearing from the prophetic, it appears as if these people that are wealthy, some of them that worship other gods apart from the true and living God, the God of Jacob, the God of Daniel, they're going to be facing something that they have never really truly experienced before. God is going to, it appears, bring them to their knees and are on their bellies. You understand? And I don't think we need to try and think about how many ways God can do that, because really and truly some of those ways might be outside of our scope of imagination. So Andrea has been saying, you know, be prepared for what is to come, and for what is to come, be prepared. A lot of people, the way to prepare has been given to us, and that is true salvation. That is the preparation. But the people, most of us, who have chosen not to prepare in that manner. And I remember something that Apostle Shuttleworth said. He said, the Lord said, not he said, the Lord said that Jamaica will bow. Either way, 3 days of lockdown, 3 days of fasting, prayer and repentance and mourning. He says that Jamaica will lock down either way. Either way, by the hook or by the crook, God is going to bring this country to its knees. And for the remnant, he said to the remnant, they should not fear. They should not worry. Once you have aligned yourself with the Most High, you don't have to worry about what is going to happen to the rest of people. So that is my understanding. Again, make sure that you guys go and support Mark Stewart's page on YouTube. Alright, it's right there on your screen for those on OBS. And for those that are on Bolo VNR clips and Bolo VNR 2.0 on the virtual, yeah man, make sure you go support Reverend Mark Stewart. Alright. Alright. Let's go into the show now. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be moving forward. Andrew Holness and his government, and him specifically, they have been taking advantage. Are you doing nuts? They have been taking advantage of the people's unwillingness, inability, or just unwillingness or inability. It's either that. It's either they are unable to read or research, right? That means they can't read, so they have a learning challenge. Or they are unwilling. They refuse to. How you doing, Lorna? They refuse to read and research. And so he comes to Parliament, he goes on his platform and he spreads propaganda and he spreads lies, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know about anybody else, but it's one thing I know, that the truth shall set you free. And it shall set you free indeed. So, today, we're going to explore the truth. That's what we're going to do today, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to explore the truth. Colleen, how you doing? But first, we have to examine the lies that were told by Andrew Holness. So again, please hit the like button, share the live, and let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into this. Where's, here it is. Wonderful. This is the group. I have everything lined up right here. Perfect. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, it's your brother Bolo VNR. We're going to explore some things that Andrew Holness had said. In response to Mr. Julian Robinson budget speech, right? Let's go to it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to it. Let me just refresh this. Let's go to Andrew Holness here.
When it comes to 15-year-old fiscal discipline,
listen to this.
PNP, you are not the father. When it comes to 15-year-old fiscal discipline, PNP, you are not the father.
Not the father.
Your name call, but it is another Goling that is the father.
If we're going to have a history lesson, we must just do it honestly.
Opposition spokesman on finance in their presentation attempted to whitewash their record and suggested that analysis of the country's economic performance does not go back far enough to do justice to their contribution. I do not believe they can complain if we start at independence. We cannot lose the battle for the minds of the people of Jamaica.
Thank you.
Otherwise, we are at risk of having the people who made the mistakes of the past repeat them. Let's start with inflation. The table now being displayed shows that the average annual inflation under my administration has been 5.5%, the lowest under any administration since 1972. This is within the inflation target of 4 to 6%, despite the effect of global inflation resulting from the post-COVID supply chain shocks and geopolitical conflicts. Without the post-COVID inflation spike, we could safely project that our average inflation rate would have trended around 4.3%. The period of highest inflation in Jamaica's history was under the PNP administration of 1989 to 2007. During that period, inflation averaged 18.5% per year. Listen to this, resulting in cumulative inflation of 2,249%. A better way to understand it, Madam Speaker, is that in 1980, a loaf of bread cost less than $1. In fact, it costs about 50 cents, somewhere around there. But in 2007, it cost $130. When the PNP left office in 2016, the unemployment rate was 13.7%. Now the unemployment rate is a historic low of 3.5%, almost full employment. 2016, we have created 253,000 new jobs. That's an average of 28,000 new jobs per year. The last PNP administration between 2011 and 2016 created an average of 15,000 jobs per year. Our rate of job creation is nearly twice that of the PNP. Jamaica today has the strongest economy since independence. Jamaica has a bright future. We are not going back to the failed policies of the PNP. Look at the exchange rate. The table now being displayed shows that during the past 9 years, the Jamaican dollar has depreciated by an average of 2.9% per year relative to the US dollar. This is by far the lowest rate of currency depreciation under any political administration since independence. By contrast, Madam Speaker, the dollar depreciated by an average of 8.5% annually under the last PNP administration. And the worst currency depreciation took place under the PNP administration of 1989 to 2007. When they assumed office in 1989, the exchange rate was 5.51, that's $5.51 Jamaican dollars to $1 US. When they left in 2007, the dollar had fallen to $70.41 to $1 US, a whopping 1,178% depreciation. Madam Speaker, it is this period of foreign exchange volatility under the PNP that is the starting point of Jamaica's economic woes. Jamaica today has the most robust and transparent foreign exchange market in the region and the most stable FX environment since our independence.
Andrew Holness is a diabolical liar. And I am telling you right now, I am not going to hold back in this one. Andrew Holness is a diabolical liar. Right? You heard what he said about 1989? That this was somehow the starting point of Jamaica's economic woes? Well, let's go back to when Siaga was running the country. Let's go back to the history before 1989. What led up to 1989? Let's go to it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to it. This man is a diabolical. You cannot trust this man. His integrity, he has no integrity as a matter of fact. Period. I'm gonna like and share this video. Let's go to Exhibit A, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the IMF first. This is the IMF website, yes? This is the IMF lending case study for Jamaica. Right? What does this say? Right? Because we're going to go closer to when his administration came in, and then we're going to go further back because he went to both of them. After debt exchange in 2010 and yet another IMF support program that went off track in 2011, who was in charge in 2011? Bruce Golding and Andrew Holness, ladies and gentlemen. Right? The country was on the verge of what? Economic meltdown. with no access to what? The international capital market. This is what the PMP is talking about when they said we were closed off. Nobody wanted to see us. Nobody wanted to give us any. The IMF was not talking to Jamaica. The World Bank was not talking to Jamaica. None of those things were happening under the Andrew Holness-led administration. We were on the verge of economic meltdown. Jamaica was once again turned around. Jamaica once again turned to the IMF in 2013 spring for financial support. Who was in charge 2013? Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller. With its preceding weak track record of reform, preceding meaning previously, weak track record of reform meaning the previous administration, weak track record of reform, significant budget financing from the international and development partners was less forthcoming. That means that they never did want to really give us any. Because of that weak track record, Jamaica needed a second debt exchange and a primary surplus of 7.5% of GDP to help stabilize the economy and address a long-standing structural challenge. That 7.5 GDP this was the reason why the PMP had to go to the NHT for the $11.4 billion to for temporarily, so that they could get to this primary surplus of 7.5% of GDP to help stabilize the economy. It was not meant for a long-standing issue. The point of the matter is the JLP previous administration that Andrew Holness was a senior member of under Bruce Golding was the reason why that happened. The public said enough is enough. The Economic Program Oversight Committee was formed so that the stakeholders from the private sector, unions, government academy, and the media could come together to hold the government accountable for its reform commitments and fiscal discipline under the reform program. With that, as described by Finance Minister Nigel Clark, what began as the IMF program became the Jamaica program with IMF support. Right? So this is us going back to 2010, 2009. This is the Bruce Golding-led administration that put us on the verge of economic meltdown. Andrew Holness was a senior member of that cabinet to the point where he was the one that took lead when Bruce Golding had to remove himself because of the Dodo situation, ladies and gentlemen. This was a pivotal point in our economic history and reputation. One that was destroyed by the Jamaica Labour Party. Let's go back further. Andrew Holness spoke about 1989. It is good to note in this article that I'm going to show you right here, ladies and gentlemen. The individual writing this article is a Labour right. Not a PMP. He says Jamaica debunking the myths about the 1980s under Edward Seaga. I am not going to read the full article. You can go for yourself. The man's name is Shalman Scott. He served under Bustamante. You understand? And he served with Edward Seaga. Right? This man knows what he's talking about. And thank God I'm honest enough, because the evidence is there. So if he did tell lie, we could have find out. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note two things. Right? One, that in 1983, Edward Seaga took a snap election. You understand? In 1983, there was a snap election. I'm going to show you guys. Zine, 1983. It's right here. 1983 election. Like I said, you can go and read the full article for yourself. I am not going to do that because in the interest of time. Right here. This is it. From 1980 to 1983, the JLP under Edward Seaga failed a minimum of 4 IMF tests. Let me say again. From 1980 to 1983, the Jamaica Labour Party government failed a minimum of 4 IMF tests. And as the pressure of rapid deteriorating economy hit Seaga, you hear what that said? As the pressure of a rapid deteriorating economy hit Seaga, he seized on a distraction of the political crisis in Grenada and called a snap election in 1983. So Siaga was running from 1918, right? In called a snap election in 1983. The PNP did not contest the election, ladies and gentlemen. So the JLP had all 60 seats in Parliament, 21 in the Senate. With no opposition in the Parliament, Siaga began to indiscriminately wield his axe. This included the tax axe as well as his axing of many government departments, resulting in the widespread closure and thousands of redundancies. 18,000 public sector workers lost their jobs. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I just want you to see that Edward Siaga, the man, the Don for the Jamaica Labour Party, where everybody yell and look up to, he had 60 seats from 1983 and 21 in the Senate. Full control, total control. Right? And with that power that Edward Siaga have, ladies and gentlemen, what happened? Let's go to it. Let's go to it. It says here in the article, in 1980, when Siaga came to power, that means previously the PNP didn't have power, Jamaica debt to GDP was 63%. This 63% is where we are trying to get back to now. Right now, where our fiscal discipline and prudence is concerned, so that we can start to grow the economy. The PNP gave him at that. The debt ballooned to 262% of GDP in 1989, which represents an increase of 315.8% in Jamaica's indebtedness over the 9-year period of the JLP Siaga administration. Any single digit growth of the economy in the face of the growth in debt was no particular significance or consequence. Ladies and gentlemen, it was so bad. This is what Siaga left the PNP with to fix. And you have a wicked liar like Andrew Holness put up a film page talking about the 1980s. From 1980, listen to this man.
The table now being and $30. When the PNP left office in 2016, the unemployment rate was 13.7%. Now the unemployment rate is a historic low of 3.5%, almost full employment. 2016, we have created 253,000 new jobs. That's an average of 28,000 new jobs per year. The last PNP administration between 2011 and 2016 created an average of 15,000 jobs per year. Our rate of job creation is nearly twice that of the PNP. Jamaica today has the strongest economy since independence. Jamaica has a bright future. We are not going back to the failed policies of the PNP. Look at the exchange rate. The table now being displayed shows that during the past 9 years, the Jamaican dollar has depreciated by an average of 2.9% per year relative to the US dollar. This is by far the lowest rate of currency depreciation under any political administration since independence. By contrast, Madam Speaker, the dollar depreciated by an average of 8.5% annually under the last PNP administration. And the worst currency depreciation took place under the PNP administration of 1989 to 2007. When they assumed office in 1989, the exchange rate was 5.51, that's $5.51 Jamaican dollars to $1 US.
So ladies and gentlemen, you see what he did there? He did not mention that Siaga gave the PNP the country. Siaga gave the PNP the country 212% of GDP. When the man leave, it ballooned to 262 But let me show you something. Let me show you something. Listen to what Miss Lagarde had to say, because we are more surgical with this thing today now. Listen to what Miss Lagarde had to say here, ladies and gentlemen, about the Jamaican economy. When she came, when Mama P was here. Listen to what she had to say right here, sir. Because we're tired of the lies from Andrew Holness. Listen to this.
Also responded to concerns about the slide in the value of the Jamaican dollar.
Well, I think you have to look back to where we were a year ago, where growth was collapsing, employment was going up, where reserves were running out, and where Jamaica was bleeding its reserves in order to support a currency that was clearly overvalued.
Jamaica, that is Christine Lagarde. Who did you see beside her a while ago? Portia Simpson Miller. When was this video done? June 27, 2014. So, the Jamaica Labour Party put the PMP into this position, you know. Bleed out the reserves. The Jamaican dollar was overrated in terms of its value. Listen, I'm going to make you hear what she say again, you know. Listen to what the ladies, as a matter of fact. The best place I play it is for my TikTok. Because I did a video. I did a video on TikTok about it. Let me get to that. Cut off that. You don't want to hear that. That's not what I'm here for. Alright, let's listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not going to play all of it. To Andrew.
Fiscal.
JLP had all. It is a 9-year period. So Andrew Holness wanted to say, which prime minister? Capital market. There was an economic meltdown. Jamaica government had to Niger Clark. What began? Jamaica, on hear that?
Well, I think you
with that, as I described by Finance Minister Niger Clark, what began as the IMF program became Jamaica's program for IMF support. So, the People's National Party did this, and I'm going to take it further. This is Miss Christine Lagarde, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this.
Responded to concerns about the slide in the value of the Jamaican dollar.
Well, I think you have to look back to where we were a year ago, where growth was collapsing, employment was going up, where reserves were running out, and where Jamaica was bleeding its reserves in order to support a currency that was clearly overvalued.
Jamaica, on hear that? Growth was collapsing, unemployment was increasing rapidly, and the reserves were depleted to zero. That's what the Jamaica Labour Party left us. So, Andrew Holness just completely, totally lied to the people, ladies and gentlemen. I want you guys to bear with me because I have to go for this reference of Mr. my general name again, sorry. Damian Crawford. Like I showed the video, guys. Damian Crawford dissected Andrew Holness. Totally dissected Andrew Holness. Saying, you remember when Andrew Holness had that, what do you call it? About 5-hour budget speech? Yeah, man. You remember when Damian Crawford came out and he rebutted all of the stuff that he was talking about? Yes, Jamaica. I found that video. Last night I was playing it. But I'm going to play a specific portion of it to add to this reaction. Yes? And I also want to play a portion of what Mr. Ralston Hyman said in an interview years ago in 2015. You understand? For you guys to get context of how important the IMF is to small countries, especially when they're in a dark place economically. So when you have mismanagement from the people that actually when you have mismanagement from the people that actually supposed to be, securing your economy and being fiscally prudent, it's counterproductive to the growth. But let me get to this, Jamaica. Let me get to Mr. Damian Crawford here, so because the man was so surgical with it.
Stop light, everybody see them, everybody know them. Phase detail, the JLP said that they'll phase it. Analyzing the hands. Crawford, Senator Crawford has been given wide latitude, Mr. President. According to data compiled by the World Bank and the IMF, more than 130 countries experienced bank sector distress between 1980 and 2002. If you soon get an explanation. What happened? Global oil prices spiked during the Gulf War and again in early 2000. Jamaica being oil dependent saw increased transportation and electricity costs, and of course bauxite would have faced challenges because of the energy consumption that it did. 18 and a half years that the PMP was in power, they on their platforms. Persons who are friends of mine, my mother asked me sometimes, how do you choose your friends? Have been calling my name in the most way on radio and on the platform. I said, Delano Seabright, Senator Seabright, a friend as well. And by the way, Senator Seabright is the one who started a rumor about shelling down London with Jamaica money. Can you believe that? I was in London presenting an academic paper. They wouldn't understand that because they're not academics. Paid for by the conference. And a friend of mine started a rumor that I was there shelling down England. But I forgave him.
Of course, because you're forgiving.
Because when his trouble came across my decks in his early times, I could have taken revenge. Because the truth was worse than the lies. But power don't lie in anger. It lies in knowing you could have done it and not doing it. Their mouths, Mr. Speaker, have revealed what their masks have tried to hide. No matter how well you pretend, your words will tell the truth about you. The first set of lies that would have been established would have been along the lines of inflation. And in this case, there is a
So, like I told you, I'm going to be very surgical with this. Damian Crawford exposed Andrew Holness' set of lies that he told. Not only did he tell the set of lies, but he repeated it recently in defense of the ass whooping, right, that Julian Robinson gave him in his budget presentation. The man has no shame. He has no boundaries. This man cannot be trusted. If you are on an island and Andrew Holness is on the island with you, worry. Worry. You're not safe. The man cannot be trusted, ladies and gentlemen. I would not want to be on an island nowhere and Andrew Holness alone upon the island. The man cannot be. Man can't lie, someone. Listen to this. Listen to the lies that Andrew tell about inflation and how Damian Crawford is going to debunk those lies in real time. Listen to this.
The first set of lies that would have been established would have been along the lines of inflation. And in this case, there is students, I want you to look, there's a line there called total inflation, which is the addition of all the years of inflation. It was put there to indicate that there was a period of PMP governance that had such a large level of inflation that it was 2,249. They failed to acknowledge this was the longest term that any government has ever served. And so therefore, over 18 years, they sought to compare with 4 years. And therefore, the accumulated level of total inflation was an unnecessary segment in this table. The average annual inflation speaks, where it speaks to 18.
Sorry. All right. Just hold a second. Hold a second for me, please. Senator Brown. All right. Have a seat. Have a seat. All right. All right. I know where he's going. So the standing order says that whilst a person is presenting and speaking, that he should be heard in silence. All right. So times, but yes. And speaking, that he should be heard in silence. All right. So, Senator Morgan, we appreciate the little bantering that goes across at times, but yes. All right. All right. So continue, Senator.
President. I don't mind, but I appreciate Senator Brown because you're setting a good example for my little children right here today. So, you know, we're going to set that example. The Prime Minister made heavy weather of this 2000, not indicating the period of time, and sought to also compare Jamaica's reality with the United States reality. Before I indicate the reasons why this is not an adequate comparison, even the numbers that they have presented suggest that there are multiple times that the JLP was worse than the PNP. Now look at February 1989 to September 2007. This is the exact presentation from Mr. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Dr. Andrew Holness. If you look at the 89 to 2007, 18 and a half years that the PNP was in power, the average annual inflation was 18.5%. In the United States, for which he was seeking to make heavy weather, it was 2.9%. That's almost 6.3 times what existed in the United States. But he failed to have done sufficient analysis to recognize that in September 2007 to December 2011, which was the JLP, they were at 12.3%, in relative to the United States, 1.5%. That's 8.2 times what was in the United States. So therefore, if it is that relativity was supposed to be used, the JLP in 2007 to 2011 was 8.2 times inflation in the United States. However, the PNP was 6 times inflation in the United States. However, for the knowledge of our students, I'd like them to know that even that was a false analysis. There was no real basis to utilize the United States in comparison with Jamaica. An appropriate comparison would have been other Caribbean islands because the United States don't have the same realities that we face. But
so, Damon Crawford expertly destroyed Andronis' argument here. Imagine you have a period of 2,000 years of a rule and you compare it to a period of 200. That's what Andronis tried to do, you know. Compare a small period of time when the Jamaica Labour Party was in power and try to add up inflation, average it out, and then say, but your 18 years compared to my 4 years, your inflation, and then in try to compare the United States. But even in the comparison, when they do the averages, the PNP performed better than them by 2%. So even though he manipulated, this is why I say he's exploiting people's inability or their unwillingness to read and do research, or actually listen to the people and actually do good research and go look for them research. How you doing, Ellen? Big up yourself, big up everybody on the live. I just need you guys to like and share the video, please. It's very important that you do that for me. Share this with 20 persons so the channel can expand. Thank you in advance. See? And then now, apart from the nonsense of comparing, you know, Jamaica with America, like I said, we still boded well in terms of the comparison, but the comparison was a fallacy. You should have never done that, right? You should have never done that. If you listen, the best comparison you can give right now, if you compare the first 10 years of PJ Patterson's rule compared to Andrew Holness' first 10 years of his rule, then you have an argument because those are pretty close together in terms of timelines. And you can say, well, inflation was this, that was that, whatever. Right? No, let's continue. Let me teach. We don't have to say much.
There's even more information in the slides that the Prime Minister presented. In the slides that the Prime Minister presented, it proved that he had the worst performance since he got the baton. Indeed, in 2002-2007, the inflation was 18.5% on average. The Bruce Golding government received the baton and reduced it by 6.2 percentage points and carried it down to 12.3%. The Portia Simpson Miller government got it and reduced it by 6 percentage points and carried down to 6.3%. Andrew Holness got it and carried down to 5.5, a reduction of less than 1 percentage point. So he's making a big deal about look how me fast when it's just that he got a good baton. Prime Minister Bruce Golding reduced it by 6 percentage points. Prime Minister Portia Simpson reduced it by a further 6 percentage points. Yet they tried to convince us that the best Prime Minister we have ever seen reduced it by less than 1 percentage points. I had to ensure that a picture like this exists, but Holness has done the least. That's a KC man winning that race so beautifully, as we will later today. And Calawari is already at 4th or 5th or something like that. My friend, they're way around the corner. But I think they're coming behind even Edith Alton today. Edith Alton will lead them. So with the baton, he has done the least. He has also sought to prove misleading historical comparison. Prime Minister attempted to vilify the PMP by highlighting average inflation from 1989 to 2007. He, however, fails to highlight the global economic context, including oil price shocks, trade liberalization mandates, structural adjustment from the IMF, and they also fail to acknowledge that food inflation, which is the level of inflation affecting the majority of people, is at 7.4%. This highlights a persistent and significant burden on household budgets, especially for low and middle income Jamaicans, even while headline inflation remained within the BOJ target. Indeed, in our Parliament, in this Senate, I have made 3 presentations asking for a targeting of food inflation as well as a targeting of overall inflation. Because there are times that the overall inflation disguises the suffering of the average individual who don't spend on the entire basket that exists. They have never indicated that. So the food inflation is outside the target levels of inflation. Therefore, a large proportion of our society whose income is directed mainly to consumption of food is not being addressed by what is being posited by the inflation rate. The next level of lives that we're told would have been debt to GDP. This graph that I'm showing here is the exact same graph that was presented by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. I'll give him the doctor until I hear further information. But Prime Minister Doctor, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Now let us look at the realities. So President, they seek to sell this argument that the JLP are the great debt managers and the PMP is loose with the management of debt. They seem to sell that argument. Well, we have not bought that argument. Let's go to the other slide. Let's look at the debt to GDP. Every time you come and say you need to check, you don't check. Check and come back, man. In 1962, the PMP handed the baton to the JLP. It's important for students to know that self-governance and independence are 2 different things. That before independence, we were governing ourselves and both the PMP and the JLP existed. The PMP handed over the baton in 1962 at 20% debt to GDP. 20%. At the end of the JLP's first term, Bustamante term, and I think you share that term. Sangster got a piece of it. So now I'll give it because it's not so good. It moved to double 40%. So therefore, these great debt managers' debt in that period moved from where they got it at 20% to 40%. We then, if you wake up and think you know more economics than me, go back to sleep. And then, inflation moved, debt to GDP ratio, moved to 80%. So Michael Manley got the baton in 1972 at 40%. And it moved up as well to 80%. However, Eddie Seattle got the baton in 1980.
The financial list?
The financial whiz. It moved to 212%. That green line in the middle, the highest it has ever been, was under the Jamaica Labour Party, under the quote-unquote financial whiz. And forgot that he had a duty. And when the PMP got it, now what I have done here is to be truthful and fair. I have not, listen. No, I will give him a class later. Because I like when the friends are at the same level. It's not possibly too late. But what happened here is that I have given with fairness. Because the election was before the 6th month, I have given 1990 to the People's National Party. 1989 to the People's National Party. But when the PMP actually got government, it was 260%. But we can work with 212. It's bad enough, we don't forget nothing more.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that, ladies and gentlemen? The article that I showed you, it was literally 260% debt to GDP. It is the highest it has ever been in Ivan, Angela, Egla, big up yourself, Fletcher, big up yourself. It is the highest it has ever been. That is under the Jamaica Labour Party. So how then can Andrew Holness say that the JLP are somehow stewards of good fiscal discipline and management, when the highest debt to GDP under their financial wizard, Edward Siaga, the debt to GDP was at 262%. Oh, by the way, there was no opposition. He had full power. You know, like when Andrew Holness had 47 seats, Edward Siaga had 60 seats in Parliament. That was the full Parliament at the time. Total control of the Jamaican government and everything. The whole house. And with that power, he could not, with his financial wizardry, either could not or refused to grow the economy. Our debt to GDP skyrocketed to 315%, 315.8% of what he got it from the People's National Party in 1980. A 9-year period of massive destruction of our economy. Unemployment skyrocketed. Public sector workers lost their job. Listen to me, man. You don't play with me. No lab can come around here, come chat no foolishness. The evidence is clear. Let's continue.
And now if you exaggerate. When the PMP got it, Mr. President, this government of the 18 years that they claim was poor in management and was debt-free, when I mean actually ballooned the debt. The truth is it dropped from 212 to 113%.
So you guys see how Andrew Holness lied by omission? He did not tell us where we got the debt to GDP from. You know. He started from where we brought it down to then compare, because context matters. Hashtag stop lying. I want everybody to put hashtag stop lying in the comment section. Tell Andrew Holness to stop tell lie, brother. We are beating with the hammer today, with the sledgehammer. You understand? That one that comes straight from the events. The truth shall set us free. I'm wanting to watch him this blouse and skirt Thursday, you know. And make sure so you equip, you know, in our comment section for burn him out with the truth, you know. If you not watch it on my channel, because I'm definitely gonna play it. I will be here on Thursday. I'll be here for it, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Make sure so you're in the building on Bolo VNR 2.0 and Bolo VNR clips. Alright, let's continue.
Debt-free, when I mean actually ballooned the debt. The truth is it dropped from 212 to 113%. How then have they been able to sell this lie that they are the fiscal party? And it's not finishing now. Because when they bamboozled the people in 2007, and it went over to Bruce Golding, it then went up again to 134%. So what happens, you know, no, and most time I don't like speak to Bruce Golding in the parliament because my good friend is across the room and his daughter, and there's relationship. And I respect that, I really do. And I rate Bruce Holness, I'm telling you the truth. No, I rate him. He's one of the brightest politicians I have seen. But the facts matters. That with all things considered, it moved from 113% and increased under the JLP. Every single time that they have gotten it, there is an increase. The people found their way. And by the way, in that time, failed IMF test. In that time, could not sit and don't want to follow that example. Didn't show up for the test. Yes, exam all the time. And when the PNP got it, it reduced to 124.5. This is the party that they're saying don't have no fiscal discipline. The facts. No, the presentation not done. Just wait, no man. I'm still at primary school. I'm carried to high school after and then college. It soon come. The only time that the JLP has reduced what they have gotten from the PMP is this time. And it is because any law-abiding government would follow the fiscal rules that were set by the People's National Party. Any law-abiding individual who was Prime Minister or Minister of Finance now would have carried out the same exact trajectory that we have agreed to under the fiscal.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen. I don't need to go any further with this reaction for this portion. This was a comprehensive breakdown of the lies that Andrew Holness has told. The only reason why this government has brought down the debt to GDP is because of the rules and laws and legislation that was put in place by Mama P. And I dare somebody in the comment section to say that that is a lie. Because I can play the video right now, but because this reaction is going so long, I can play the video of the words. You know what, I'm going to do it. Let me play the video of the words coming out of Miss Christian Lagarde mouth about those fiscal rules. Let me play it. Let me find the video is right here. I'm not have to go far. The video is right here. The video is right here, ladies and gentlemen. I hear so? When she talk right here, so? Hold on, let me see. Yes.
The wider Caribbean. Just last week, the executive board of the IMF confirmed that Jamaica successfully passed all 4 tests on the year 1 of the extended fund facility. The country is set to receive another $70.9 million, bringing total disbursements to date to $414.4 million.
In the first year of program implementation, key reforms that had been pending for a long time were implemented. In particular, the tax incentive legislation approved by Parliament in December 2013 and the fiscal rule approved in March 2014. Key reforms that
disbursements to date to $414.4 million.
In the first year of program implementation, key reforms that had been pending for a long time were implemented. In particular, the tax incentive legislation approved by Parliament in December 2013 and the fiscal rule approved in March 2014. And the fiscal rule approved in March 2014.
Who was the Prime Minister in 2014? Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller. When was this video made? On the JIS website, June 27th, 2014. The People's National Party is who put in the fiscal rules and the fiscal papers to hold the government accountable so they could not take our economy off the rails again. Argument done. Anytime a lab rat they run out, only just play that video. You hear me say? All the evidence you need to destroy the idiot argument that them come with and what them going to try to lie about in Andrew Holness' first video, all of that was just debunked a while ago, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to the next one. Get this video to 5,000 likes. Don't play with it. Alright. So I could go to the second video now where Andrew Holness talk. Celine, what you dealing? I not play with him today, man. Out of order. Out of order. What you say?
If you
11 minutes. We're going to listen to an 11-minute video. Right, you know,
want to know what is the root of our problems today, it is the bad policies of the PNP in the. If you want to know what is the root of our problems today, it is the bad policies of the PNP in the 1990s. If you want to know what is the root of our problems today, it is the bad policies of the PNP in the 1990s.
I don't think I need to do a video. If this is what he's gonna start off with, the video that I just did debunks this. The man said the bad policies of the PNP in the 1990s. We just established two facts, ladies and gentlemen. That what? Sweet pepper? My goodness. People look on mommy sweet pepper. You don't know she a new farmer, you know, so. Don't know things will get better. You know, look over there? Mad. Anyway, yes, Jamaica. This man said the 1990s. I cannot believe this guy. Jamaica, look at your screen. The debt to GDP was 262% of GDP in 1989. That's what he get. That's what Edward Siaga, the JLP, after 9 years, gave the People's National Party. Right? And the People's National Party had to fix Jamaica. So how is it the bad policies of the People's National Party when the results show that they brought down the debt to GDP? They were fixing the economy that was severely damaged by the Jamaica Labour Party under Edward Siaga after 9 years. But let's continue. Let's hear what he has to say.
If we're going to have a history lesson, we must just do it honestly.
FINSAC was a homegrown domestic crisis wholly caused by the PNP, for which we are now only just recovering.
This is a bold-faced lie. And they continue to repeat this lie. Voice of intercession, big up yourself. They continue to repeat this lie, ladies and gentlemen. And it's quite sickening. Shout out to Mystic Sensation. He was on, the teacher was on Mr. Lonesome. He was on Mr. Lonesome page today. He called in. I even captured it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to play the first part for you. Alright. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. Yes.
My manners, big up all of the peeps, right? In the chat will continue to tune in. Respect and manners because I didn't keep the energy. All right. Let us ask a question where
Yes.
we are speaking to critical thinkers.
Yes.
Right now in Jamaica. Everybody who tune in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask two questions this morning that would now be able to re-energize, right, people's mental capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, what was the situation that caused FINSA to be created?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That is number one. Now, the situation that caused FINSA to be created is the 90s financial meltdown.
Good.
So it's a situation where FinSAC was before the 90s financial meltdown and FinSAC was passing policies. And as such, those policies were bad policies that caused the financial meltdown. No, the financial meltdown was before, you understand? As a result of the financial meltdown, it is what caused, right, FinSAC to be established. Now, first, what? Second question, what caused the financial meltdown? Okay, now, this is what now Andrew Holness is so dishonest at the entire JP administration. What caused the financial meltdown are the multiples of unsecured loan.
That's it. That's it.
Not high interest rate.
Ah.
Not high interest rate.
Ah.
Let us differentiate. Let us differentiate it.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Good morning. We're wide. Renegade there. Man gonna freak. Man gonna wilderness. Keep it wilderness running out of life. One. All right.
Use explain that. Now,
If you go on and tell the dumb say, yes, yes, you know the 90s and we are destroy the place, one party, from 83 to 89. Nothing left of the place. Nothing. See me just show the paper and say I gotta tell you, be a downstairs. Oh, fix up.
you know, so when I leave you alone,
Me know, man.
you want to teach me
Me know, man.
because I come home work in Belleville.
Yeah.
Now, what's your way?
Yes.
Let me ask, my manners, big up all of the peace, right? In the chat will continue to tune in. Respect and manners because I didn't keep the energy. Alright. Let us ask a question way.
Yes.
We are speaking to critical thinkers.
Yes.
Right now in Jamaica. Everybody who tune in.
Mm.
I'm going to ask 2 questions this morning that would now be able to re-energize, right, people's mental capacity.
Mm.
Number 1, what was the situation that caused FinSAC to be created?
Mm.
Right? That is number 1. Now, the situation that caused FinSAC to be created is the 90s financial meltdown.
Good.
So it's not a situation where FinSAC was before the 90s financial meltdown and FinSAC was passing policies. And as such, those policies were bad policies that caused the financial meltdown. No, the financial meltdown was before, you understand? As a result of the financial meltdown, it is what caused, right, FinSAC to be established. Now, first, what? Second question, what caused the financial meltdown? Okay, now, this is what now Andrew Holness is so dishonest at the entire JP administration. What caused the financial meltdown are the multiples of unsecured loan.
That's it. That's it.
Not high interest rate. Not high interest rate. Let us differentiate it. Let us differentiate it.
Yes.
If it was the high interest rate, why the other banks that the JP criminals did not involve in?
Why them never go on? Why them never go down?
Yeah, why those banks did not collapse?
All right.
Why those? You understand? Because those banks, right? All banks were facing the high interest rate.
Yes.
So the argument about the high interest rate are cut it.
Garbage.
Understand? Totally lie.
Yes.
Right? And I'm going to give you explain that. Now, they had done their research, and based on the research, they're talking about the high level of unsecured loan.
That's it.
Let us get deep into it now. Let us get deep into it.
Mm.
Who is the principal person who deals with unsecured loan? Billions of dollars in unsecured loan. Dan Crawford.
Yes.
Who is Dan Crawford? Dan Crawford was the person who was associated with Balenciaga.
Yes,
Dan
yes.
Crawford had done with the banking system was he had given himself Dan Crawford, a level of corruption, himself Dan Crawford, and many of his friends and aides, right, unsecured loan. Unsecured loan. Not only that, you know who get unsecured loan?
Yes.
You know who get unsecured loan? Edward Siaga.
Of course.
Edward Siaga. So that's why I said they don't want to release the FinSAC report.
Yes.
Because Edward Siaga get roughly about, I think, for what? 23
million US. Yes, something like that. 23 or 32. What are them?
$23 million that come with the section of the money and just give it to Sierra.
Yes.
Right? Give it to Sierra. And what Sierra said? Sierra said he did not remember that he collected, that he was processing marijuana. That's it.
Jamaica, when I tell you, say, the labor they don't want to see me today. It means they don't want to see me today. We are going to be surgical with this. Them two out of order, Andrew Holness too out of order talking about FinSac. The FinSac argument get destroyed, Jamaica. Excuse me. The FinSac argument get totally destroyed. You hear what the man say? Unsecured loans is what caused that situation. 23 million US dollar and you never remember say about it? No wonder we have the situation in a 1980 to 1989 under Edward Siaga. The man was losing his mind from early. Where you don't remember him did senile or something. And I mean no disrespect, but oh you forget $23 million US in a one loan. If somebody lend me $1,000 I him forgot. Much less 23 million US. And you're a financial wizard. You are the totem pole of the Jamaica Labour Party in terms of economic wizardry. Unsecured loans, ladies and gentlemen. That means, you know what that means? The loans was given when there was no security to ensure that the money would come back. That will destroy any economy. So FinSac was the answer to those practices. Because everybody would have lost Jamaica. Everybody would have lost if the PMP did not step in with FinSac. There's also another argument around the FinSac thing. Zane and Mr. Andre Horton and also Damian Crawford had Damian Crawford and Mr. Andre Horton. Andre Horton was the first person I saw talk about it, but Damian Crawford spoke about it in Parliament in the same video that I just played. What I'm going to do is, because I'm being so surgical today, we're not going to leave any stone unturned, Jamaica. No stone will be left unturned. So let me find the exact portion of that video. Zin.
It is going down under his administration.
Let me find the exact portion of the video.
12.1. What can go so? EF fund was established. 1,000 houses.
At the time,
you know, I'm no lick figure.
Almost.
You have Finan.
1 o'clock.
You can't take these licks. Chiquita and Dole went to court. They carried Britain to court. Currency depreciation and inflation as markets opened rapidly.
We have to go to FinSac. Hold on.
PMP response. Introduce social safety net like PAR. Yes. Debt at the cost of resolving the financial crisis.
Yes.
That happened at that time.
Listen to this.
I'm going to get back on track because can you imagine that, man? Go down. Insurance companies are what we call financial institutions. The current Prime Minister was over there. And then over-promote the style and say that he's a good communicator. This group of individuals here. You were here. Yes. Most of them over there were here. They were in the shadows. At that time, Dana was our party. They was PMP that time. They took it from 113 to, he was feeding at the trough, 134. So therefore, this argument of debt, mismanagement, and non-fiscal, the numbers don't show. Fiscal rules that he suggests. Ready again? If it is I'm not give them that one. That one is exaggeration. Give me another one. Exaggeration. I'm not going to exaggeration. They're claiming paternity.
We have a name for it.
They're claiming paternity for Jamaica's fiscal turnaround. And they say that the period 2007 to 2011 is proof of that paternity. First of all, let us acknowledge that not even with style and safe. Remember last year in this house, I come and say, I have the paternity and Andrew's not the father. The man take the style. They take the plans. They take the ideas and the style. And then over-promote the style and say that he's a good communicator. He rate me, man. He rate me. The IMF refused to give them anything more. February 2010, Jamaica entered 2010. Adley Shaw was the one speaking. He was speaking on behalf of the entire Jamaica Labour Party. Senator Crawford said it. Then that Minister Delroy Chuck said, I'm going to legalize Obia. Is that what the JLP going to do? It turned off track. What were the reasons? Slippage in meeting fiscal targets. The one that we set and meet every time in 2011 to 2016. They're saying that we are less fiscally responsible when the evidence said we met all our fiscal targets than those who did not. What can go so? And then it says, okay, well, I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know. February 1989, which we had. Hurricane Ivan was in 2004. Hurricane Dean was in 2007. Destroyed crops, infrastructure and homes, created food inflation, reconstruction costs. The PMP had to deal with that. The EU ACP agreement ended. Now, because we were, what do you call that again? We were colonies. We had a preferential treatment where we sell our bananas at higher prices. So Britain was saying, we're going to give you some repayment for what we have done. And they did that with special banana prices, special sugar prices.
Senator Crawford, address me now.
Oh, you want to learn too? All right. So they did a special banana prices, special sugar prices. When Chiquita and Dole, yes. Mr. President researched Chiquita and Dole, carried up.
What I want you to do is address the bill before me.
What
you are doing, I want you to address this.
Oh, no, can't take these licks.
What you are doing, really, right?
The Prime Minister
we appreciate it, you know.
Things is the Prime Minister graph.
We appreciate it. But see the time,
you know, I'm no lick figure.
Almost.
You have Finan.
1 o'clock.
You can't take these licks. Chiquita and Dole went to court. They carried Britain to court and suggested that this was against WTO agreement. When they won that case, the British had to end preferential treatment for sugar and banana. Because we were dependent on those preferential treatment, that is how banana died quickly, and thereafter sugar also died. Led to job losses, rural economic decline. In that period up to 2007, there was also 9/11. These people forget. Like it's them alone. In 9/11, when the planes crashed into the World Trade Center, this was September 11, 2001 it was? GDP growth slowed, government revenue dropped, tourism massive decline, and it wasn't a world lock, world open. It was a fear of travel that permeated the world and lasted for a very long time. But in spite of all of that, in the period 1989 to 2007, the PMP ended IMF borrowing relationship and passed 12 consecutive IMF tests. The IMF test has been used over the last 9 years as a proxy of good governance and fiscal responsibility. Yet the passing of 12 IMF tests in that period is ignored to say that they were fiscally impossible. The same reality. Macroeconomic reform happened. They managed the fiscal sector crisis through FinSA, protected over 1.5 million depositors who had money in the bank, and 570,000 policyholders. They managed the fiscal sector crisis through FinSAC, protected over 1.5 million depositors who had money in the bank, and 570,000 policyholders. Macroeconomic reform happened. They managed the fiscal sector crisis through FinSAC, protected over 1.5 million depositors who had money in the bank, and 570,000 policyholders. They also did Highway 2000 and finished Highway 2000, not in the same way they're doing now over into St. Thomas, that you have to dig up and repave and flood out people's yard. Airport modernization, water, energy and telecommunications improved.
And then oppose the telecommunications bill in the past.
Housing and land reform. In that period, the PMP government built 150,000 houses. Include completion of Greater Portmore with over 10,000 homes. And that was in 1995 alone. 58,000 families received land titles under what they are trying to malign, the Operation Pride program.
Absolutely.
Health systems strengthened. National Health Fund was established by the People's National Party.
Yes,
Major hospital upgrades. KPH, Mandeville, Spanish Town, Bustamante. Maypen was built. And Mandeville was built. Upgraded. And at that time, there was no cost overrun to the tune of Cornwall Regional. They are telling us that a group of individuals that told the country that Cornwall Regional will take 2 billion to fix. Gone 22 billion and counting. And they are fiscally responsible. Beg some protection. None of
You hear the portion about the FinSAC? You hear the portion about the FinSAC? How much millions of people benefited? That would have lost everything. Let me play that again.
tourism, massive decline. That IMF borrowing relationship. The IMF test has been used. Macroeconomic reform protected over $1 billion. They managed the fiscal sector crisis through FinSAC, protected over 1.5 million depositors who had money in the bank, and 570,000 policyholders.
Ladies and gentlemen, was the solution to the problem, not the problem. They spin it on the people and trick the people. See, I could go into more what Andrew talk about in this video. So.
Our debt to GDP prior to the advent of the FinSAC crisis was 72%. The government at the time established FinSAC to bail out the collapsed financial institutions. This bailout cost the country 42% of GDP. In other words, 42% of what we produce in any 1 year, we had to take it to pay for FinSAC. By way of comparison, the US government's bailout intervention during the global financial crisis of 2008-2009 was only 9% of their GDP. So you see the magnitude of the scale of FinSAC relative to the size of our economy. Within 6 years after the establishment of FinSAC, our debt spiraled out of control from 72% of GDP to 130% of GDP.
Let us let that sink in. FinSAC was so bad enough that it moved the debt to GDP from 72% to 140%. or 130 something percent according to Andrew Holness. See? Because I don't believe nothing when him say. I have to look back on that. But I want to make this point. That was still significantly less than the 262% of debt to GDP under Edward Seaga, when he had the entire parliament in control. His government was the government. There was no opposition. But still, our debt to GDP was the highest it has ever been. How can the Jamaica Labour Party claim fiscal discipline when they have the worst record of it historically? How can they claim it? They caused the problem to create that made the PNP respond with FinSac, you know. These unsecured loans, you know. In fixing the problem, they are criticizing the PNP for fixing the problem that they caused. Obviously, there would have been some type of effect on the debt to GDP. It was obvious. But the debt to GDP still did not pass or reach anywhere close to Edward Seaga debt to GDP. Edward Seaga debt to GDP was still more than what? More than 100 and something percent over. How much is 140 from 162? 120% over what FinSac response was to the problem of the JLP. The effects of FinSac in terms of responding and helping. If let's put it this way, if FinSac was not created, the debt to GDP would have ballooned even more. That's a fact. It would have ballooned even more, Jamaica, because of all those millions of people that would have lost everything and not regained anything. In this case, it's better to get back something than not have nothing at all. Again, the problem was caused by the JLP. These unsecured loans by friends of the Jamaica Labour Party and these banking entities. These unsecured loans that Edward Seaga benefited from. 23 million US dollars that he did not remember that he was supposed to pay back. He never knows him when a service a debt. How you doing unknowingly, bruh? What the hell can go so? And the man them have the audacity, the unmitigated gall, for turn up in a parliament within 5-hour budget debate last year and then get a ass whooping from Julian Robinson and come out here responding in this manner. What he did was clip up, somebody clip up this thing, you know, and put on him in social media page, you know. After Julian Robinson destroyed the entire administration, you know, and showed them up, you know, gave tangible solutions, you know, to not tax the hell out of us, the people, you know. And now, I guarantee you that Andrew is going to come Thursday and try to validate putting extra pressure on the people of Jamaica with more taxes. Mark my words. That's exactly what he's coming to do. Mighty God. Let's continue.
That caused interest costs alone on the debt to consume almost 70% of tax revenues. So just the cost to pay for the debt, the interest at one point cost us 70% of all the tax revenues that we collect. If you add public sector wages to that and other things that you have to pay for out of tax revenue, then you basically would have no money left. You would have no money left to fix roads, no money left to build schools, no money left to repair clinics, no money left to pay for water. So if you ever wondered, you know, if you ever wondered why we have so much infrastructure that has been left unmaintained and now falling apart, if you ever wondered why things are the way they are, if you ever wondered, you know, Madam Speaker, it's an important point that needs to be made. Because the average man listening might, in the background of the shrill of noise that we hear, this might go way back in their memory. And they see a pothole emerge in a road, and they wonder, why doesn't the government fix that pothole now? But they will never stop and reflect on a very important point, Madam Speaker, that when this road was built 30 or 40 years ago, what should have happened is that there should have been a reserve maintenance programmed into the budget, matched with what they call the engineered life of the road, that as a little crack emerges, out of the revenues that you have, you go and you use some tar chemical and you seal that crack, so no pothole appears. But that road that you are looking on now, that the potholes are all emerging, they weren't maintained. And the reason why they couldn't be maintained is because we had to take almost 70% of our tax revenues to pay for the bad policy choices of the PNP during the 1990s and FinSAC.
This man has no shame. This man want to blame the 2025 bad road them and pothole from the 1990s. Then if we are to play this game, ladies and gentlemen, when they're home, how can she stand to listen to that voice? Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, no, but seriously, Andrew Holness want to blame the 1990s. See, then if we're gonna blame the 1990s, we can go back to the 1989. We can go back to 1980s then. See it there? That's where it all started under Edward Seaga, with a 262% debt to GDP. That abyss that Edward Seaga put us in. We can go back to this. You understand what I say? We can go back to this. Oh, sorry, I want to now see it's so good over there. See there? See there? The debt to GDP ballooned to 262% of GDP in 1989, which represents an increase of 315.8% in Jamaica's indebtedness over the 9-year period of the JLP Seaga administration. So why, and they took it from 63%. So why Andrew Holness never in a presentation told us about the effects of Edward Seaga bad management, mismanagement, poor management of the economy in between 1980 and 1989. He got it at 63%. That's where we're trying to get back to now. You know? That means that is an acceptable and a good rate that he got it. You know? That's somewhere you can grow the economy from. You know? According to the fiscal discipline and the fiscal papers. You know? Keeping the debt at 60%. You can grow the economy from there. You know? We were at 63% in 1980. Edward Seaga took the baton and the debt to GDP ballooned to 262%. 315.8% in Jamaica's indebtedness over a 9-year period under Edward Seaga. How is it that Andrew Holness government did not take that into consideration, what the PNP had to deal with between the 1990s going down into the 2007? Why them never take that into consideration, Jamaica? As a matter of fact, the reason why the JLP did not get back power is because of the 1980 to 1989 poor management. People are suffering so much, ladies and gentlemen. They say, oh, We can't make this a government to come back in a power. That's why PJ wins so much election, you know. That's why PJ wins so much election, you know. And he was performing through carrying down the debt and everything. All the bad things that the JLP government did to this country. Causing with these unsecured loans being one of the catalysts why FinSAC had to come and rescue Jamaica with its efforts. It's still, you know, when you get when you end up in a one wicked accident, you know, I can say it this way: you were covered by an angel, because if it wasn't for the angel, you would have died, but you still had some serious injury because of the damage of the thing. Thank you. Because of the damage of that particular accident. Let me take this person off of my page. Who you, man? Who you, man? I guess nobody. Not on this page. I am somebody. I am the creator of this page. So, in that period, ladies and gentlemen, in carrying down the debt to GDP and fixing the economy and everything under the PMP, right? You know, they still managed to build schools. They still managed to build hospitals. They still managed to build roads and build them properly. The roads that they built back then is way better than the roads that any road that Andrew Holness built under administration, none of them are better than the road them PMP built. And that's a fact. We see look rain fall and the whole of them lift up. Look on the big old highway where they're on a bus boat down you know, say everything Andrew Holness touch it poison. You know, realize that every single thing where Andrew Holness touch it poison Jamaica. Totally poison. But let's continue. Let's hear more lies from Andrew Holness, which we will debunk.
I want Jamaicans to understand that lack of maintenance accumulates. Lack of spending on infrastructure amounts to what is called disinvestment. So you can build a hospital, you know, but if you don't maintain a schedule of maintenance, the value of that hospital declines, depreciates. So today when you look at the hospital and say, why this government don't do something about it? Even if this government were to take all the money it has now, it couldn't today immediately halt and stop the deterioration. I think the public must understand this. Because, Madam Speaker, it is the same public that voted in the same PNP government over and over and over again. It is a point that needs to be understood, that the economic struggle that the country has had to restore its economy is so that it is able to have revenues steady and stable and predictable that it can then use to maintain and provide the things you want over a long period without making bad decisions to put those revenues in peril. If you want to know what drives me, Madam Speaker, is to make sure that we never go back. So if you want to know what is the root of our problems today, it is the bad policies of the PNP in the 1990s. They don't like to hear this. And 90% of Jamaica may not appreciate and understand it, but we're going to bring the facts. The root cause of the crisis, the FinSAC crisis, was the premature policy decisions of the PNP to liberalize the foreign exchange market in 1991 without the necessary preconditions such as reserves in place. In other words, they went to party but didn't have any money. This triggered a rapid depreciation of the Jamaican dollar and skyrocketing prices, with inflation reaching 80% in 1991 and 40% in 1992. Not having any rent money to ward off speculators, the government then tried to protect the exchange rate through exorbitant interest rates. As a result, productive enterprises, especially small businesses, were unable to service their loans, and the loans became non-performing. Mounting non-performing loans and loan defaults then caused banks to collapse.
Boy, man, tell you, there's so much lies are being told in this one sector right here. Again, the unsecured loans is what caused unsecured loans under the Jamaica Labour Party. You know, companies like Holness and stuff like that, and other companies from SSL that were operating without a license. Those things is what caused that situation. Again, look up the Washington Consensus. Look up the Washington Consensus. This nonsense he's talking about roads and road maintenance. There was actually a road maintenance fund. But let's compare the roads that they have built now in a short period, even the houses they have built. Where's the maintenance on those? Them now mash up. They don't even last a year, Jamaica. The roads them where Holness has built. And he's talking about building a hospital. Can you first build a hospital before you criticize the hospital them with the PMP build will last for how much years? Can you build a hospital? Can you finish Cornwall Regional? So now the Cornwall Regional taking this long time and all this money and the refurbishing, he still wants to blame the PMP? All they had to do, Jamaica. So me smell gas. Mommy, me smell gas. Mommy, me smell gas. Me don't know, me smell gas. All they had to do, Jamaica, right? When it comes to the roads, them. Lose my thought. When it comes to the roads, them. We don't see any maintenance. Cornwall Regional. All they had to do was use the option of demolishing Cornwall Regional and building a new hospital. It would have been done already. And it would have cost less money. You hear what I said? It would have been done and it costs less money. Cornwall Regional Hospital is a feeding tree to throw up somebody's pocket. I don't know who. But when the audits are done, you're going to find that a lot of people got rich off Cornwall Regional Hospital. And it's still getting rich off it. I guarantee you, if there was a new project to put up a new hospital, it would be finished within a year and a half, and Cornwall Regional will still not be finished. Mark my words. But let's continue.
The PNP's high interest rate policy created a two-tiered economy. One where cash-rich speculators thrived while productive businesses drowned in insurmountable debt. This led to what a prominent member of the PNP described as the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich since slavery. Madam Speaker, who were the beneficiaries of this wealth transfer from the poor to the rich? Is there anyone in this house who was a part of this ill-conceived policy, whose business it was to profit from the great transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich? This reminds me of the classic tale of what we in Jamaica sometimes regretfully call Butler's father, who caused the mother so much pain and then abandons the child. But when the child grows up to be successful, out of the blue they turn up to claim paternity and associate with success. This leader of the opposition is a man of convenience, flip-flopping between prudence and popularity when
I just want to make it clear that Andrew Holness is talking about himself and his party. He's the biggest flip-flopper. He's the biggest person of convenience, because if it wasn't for the fiscal laws and papers that the PNP put in place, they would not be in the place that they are right now, because they, like I said, it's either they don't know what they're doing or they are actually doing the things to destroy this country. None of those things are good, but that's the conclusion I've come to, because the fiscal rules and fiscal laws and papers that is in law is the only reason why our debt to GDP is where it's at right now. It's not because Andrew Holness is disciplined. Anybody that took over government would have to follow those laws, or they would be breaking the law. Which government and legislator is out here to break the law? A clear law that is there when there are entities out there to ensure, like the IFC, the International Financial Commission. Yes, they are one of the entities that's supposed to hold us accountable as well, based off the legislative mandate. That's why the commissioner came out and criticized the Favour Williams part of her, Marcia Harding, part of our policies before it came out. And he said it was not credible. Right? So there's structure out there to ensure that they stay on track, is my point. And that is the People's National Party that did that. Alright? He uses this FinSac thing very, very well. But it now work Jamaica. And it not working for most people that know the truth, because we go back and do the research. You understand? Let's continue.
the child of fiscal discipline, and then the next he claims the child of fiscal discipline. The mother remembers the pain of FinSac and the high interest rate policy, the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich, and she knows that she cannot trust this worthless man. So the DNA test was done. The DNA test was done. The results are in. When it comes to 15-year-old fiscal discipline, PNP, you are not the father.
Bringing total disbursements to date to $414.4 million.
In the first year of program implementation, key reforms that had been pending for a long time were implemented. In particular, the tax incentive legislation approved by Parliament in December 2013 and the fiscal rule approved in March 2014. And the fiscal rule approved in March 2014. And the fiscal rule approved in March 2014. But there are other major reforms that legislation approved by Parliament in December 2013 and the fiscal rule approved in March 2014. But there are other major reforms that are on the must-do list, including improving the collection of taxes so that there is no evasion and there is collection, modernizing the public sector and improving the business climate in order to pursue the attractiveness of Jamaica, which has caused foreign direct investment to significantly improve and increase over the last 12 months. Consistent implementation of these reforms will boost investor confidence and growth.
We are making further improvements in the business environment and implementing major projects in a timely way to serve as catalysts for growth and development. It is also the shared commitment of the government and the IMF that vital social safety net programs will be maintained to protect the most vulnerable, even as we press ahead with economic transformation.
Madame Lagarde also responded to concerns about the slide in the value of the Jamaican dollar.
Well, I think you have to look back to where we were a year ago, where growth was collapsing, employment was going up, where reserves were running out, and where Jamaica was bleeding its reserves in order to support a currency that was clearly overvalued. So as a result of that, and to give all levers to the Jamaican authorities, and I'm talking here about the finance minister and the governor of central bank, it was necessary to determine a devaluation of the currency so that it could be at the right level of appreciation. It was clearly overappreciated. A lot has been done. There's still a little way to go, not much, still a little way to go, but it's clearly on a net value that you have to determine that devaluation. I don't like to use the word devaluation, and I prefer to use the word right valuation, because it may well be down the road as the program proceeds, as growth picks up, and as the reserves build up, that it will not be devaluation forever, and it might revaluate. Okay? So, right valuation has to do with determining the right currency level on the basis of production factors, on the basis of inflation differential, on the basis of competitiveness factors. Jamaica has the IMF full support. We stand ready to help in any way we can, but of course it is up to the Jamaicans, with the public and private sector working in close harmony, to build a bright future.
Jamaica thanks.
And when the bright future started to build, because the future never did bright. And that was 2014. And look at the IMF website here, so International Monetary Fund. Going back to this, me now start beat them with this, you know. After a debt exchange in 2010, yet another IMF supported program that went off track. In 2011, the country was on the verge of an economic meltdown. Who was in power at that time, Jamaica? The Jamaica Labour Party, and Jonas was a part of that government, with no access to the international capital market. With no access to the international capital market. With no access to the international capital market. Who turned that around? Who turned that around? Mama P. Mama P went on her knees for this country, literally and figuratively, for us to get back access to the international capital market, because the JLP is the reason why we were shut out. Nobody else. They are the father for that. Them are the daddy, the uncle, the grandfather. Nobody else not do that, but them are the one that do that. And I can go back to Siaga, failing 4 IMF tests. Where they? Let me show you. Let me show you where it says Siaga failed 4 IMF tests, ladies and gentlemen. See? I have to find it, you know. Because we're not joke with them today, you know. They're right or so. See? Blah, 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 blah. Iran. Even David Rockefeller left Jamaica because of Edward. See there? From 1983 from 1980 to 1983, the JLP government under Edward Siaga failed a minimum of 4 IMF tests. And as the pressure of a rapidly deteriorating economy hit Siaga, he seized on the distraction of the political crisis in Grenada and called a snap election in 1983. That means they call it early. Andrew Holness did a similar thing. He followed the same playbook as Siaga in the pandemic. When pressure went and knock and him see him lose favor with the people, him call an election in a time when most of the older people them never want to left them house because of COVID. Right? Them as much as pressures they were under, they never wanted to leave their house to come out and vote because of a health crisis. And Andrew Holness was the reason for the spread of COVID. With that election, people out the road and run up and down and regular. No mass and all type of thing and a gather because of election mode. You want a wicked man than Andrew Holness as a leader of this country? It means the wickedest thing me ever see. Just because what? For maintaining own power. You understand? Just to maintain his own power, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go to this interview here, sir, you know, right? With the great Ralston Ironman, you know, for him explain some critical right here, sir. And this was 2015. This was after what's your name? Portia Simpson Miller and their team started to give Jamaica back some credibility, right? By passing those IMF tests where the international market is concerned. Listen to this.
Well, you know, as a matter of clarity, the minister again reiterated that the budget laid the foundation for accelerated economic growth. It met our commitments to our international partners to pay down the debt and the people of Jamaica to provide basic social services while accelerating economic growth. It is fundamental that we stick to this timetable. The minister reinforced the need to pay down the debt because the trajectory we're on is to reduce the debt to GDP ratio from 145% in 2012 to 96% by foundation for accelerated economic growth. It met our commitments to our international partners to pay down the debt and the people of Jamaica to provide basic social services while accelerating economic growth. It is fundamental that we
for discussion in your view.
Well, you know, as a matter of clarity, the minister again reiterated that the budget laid the foundation for accelerated economic growth. It met our commitments to our international partners to pay down the debt and the people of Jamaica to provide basic social services while accelerating economic growth. It is fundamental that we stick to this timetable. The minister reinforced the need to pay down the debt because the trajectory we're on is to reduce the debt to GDP ratio from 145% in 2012 to 96% by 2020 and to the internationally accepted norm of 60% by 2025. This is extremely important. It's not an academic exercise, and we want our people to understand if you owe too much money, then you'll have to be transferring the resources to servicing that debt. So you have very little resources if you bring it down to a household to fix the house, to expand the house, to buy basic food and services, as well as to provide education for your children. A nation is no different. So we need to pay down the debt so we can concentrate more resources on improving the country's social and economic infrastructure, educate our people, and to become more competitive in the international economy. So the budget lays the foundation for that. You also made a point about being accurate despite the fact that we're politicking. The order and the dissemination of accurate information is of paramount importance to the smooth functioning of our markets. Now, the point being made, and I have interest here, the National Insurance Fund remains viable. The net assets of the National Insurance Fund is $71.3 billion. If you look at all the NIF's numbers, we are beating inflation. And the fact of the matter is that an actuarial review has already been done, and those matters are under consideration. There are certain institutions which we must not try to politicize. So I'm one with the minister on that.
Yeah. And I think the minister has advanced this whole discussion, Ralston and Dennis, of the passing of the IMF tests, the rigorous pursuit of the economic reform program, and the people's test and the growth test. I think that he made the point very forcefully that the things that are being done are laying the foundation for and are creating the conditions for the growth and for the social development of people.
Most certainly, one of the things that we have been seeing in recent time because of the competitive politics, people are positing the view that passing the IMF test is different from the passing the people's test. There is no dichotomy or no difference for the simple man between passing IMF test and people's test. What we want our people to understand is that we have a major debt problem and the IMF is the lender of last resort. When nobody else is willing to lend you, the IMF will lend you. When you're getting money from the IMF, you'll also be able to get money from the World Bank, the Inter-American Development Bank, the European Union, the private capital markets look to the IMF for signals. So if you don't pass the IMF test, then you don't get any money from these institutions. So it means it affects your education program, your road building program, your social security program, your investment program. So passing the IMF test is integral to getting money from these institutions, as well as to improve investor confidence. And it is investor confidence which drives investments, and it is investments which drives jobs and growth. So passing the IMF test lays the foundation for accelerated economic growth and social development.
Dennis.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the Jamaica Labour Party did not take the IMF test under Bruce Golding, there was no acceleration of growth. All the things that the passing of the test affected, education, roads, everything, all of that was being deteriorated under the Jamaica Labour Party. Let us be clear. All those programs were being jeopardized because of the Jamaica Labour Party. We're tired of them. We're tired of them, John. We're tired of them. And we're tired of the lies them too. We're tired of that more than anything else. That's why I'm here right now. Going step by step and breaking this down. And everything where you hear Rasta and Iman say a while ago, listen to Dennis Chung in total agreement. Listen to this.
Your take and the private sector's take on this issue. Growth people's tests versus IMF tests.
Well, I think that I'd agree with Ralston. And I speak more as an accountant. I mean, the fact of the matter is that you cannot have any sustainable social welfare without being financially secure.
Yes.
And therefore the fiscal balancing is necessary, right? It is not sufficient for sustainable economic development, but it has to be what lays the foundation for building on that growth. And you know, it's ironic, I was just thinking back when Ralston was talking, that we're here talking about the necessity of the IMF, because and the fact that it's a lender of last resort, and that we had to go to them in 2010, because I remember in 2009, Ralston, we were saying we need to go to the IMF, yes, and we were saying, everybody was saying,
among the earliest
no,
voices.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's necessary, and I don't think that we have. I've said before, we don't have any other choices. What we need to understand about the reality that Jamaica faces is that this is the first time in over 40 years that we're really making any substantial move to correct the problems.
This is a special JIS presentation looking at
When you hear that, Jamaica? Dennis Chung said it's the first time over 40 years that they are really making an effort to create a solution. Mama P do that. Mama P do that. Yeah. 4 year at the wicket, 5 year at the wicket. And it was a significant innings. Right? So, not only is PMP the father, but them is the mother too of fiscal discipline and fiscal prudence. The history tells you that. Right? You can start from the first administration. You can start from them. I played the video with Damian Crawford explaining the period where what you call it now, debt to GDP is concerned and inflation. Two of the things that will affect your economy a lot, especially the grassroots level people them. You know, the consumer, the one that will buy the most. Seeing? We go over that. We show you that. You understand? So it should be clear. No, you hear from a Dennis Chung from way back. This was 2015, this interview, Ian Bowen, God rest his soul. You understand what I deal with? And we go further tonight. Let's go.
At the 2015-2016 budget, we're also looking more specifically at preeminent financial journalist Ralston Hyman. I am Ian Boyne. So Dennis, you were making the point at the break. You might want to.
Yeah. What I was saying, Ian, is that what we're seeing now, which is positive, is that we're actually now stabilizing the macro environment with a reduced debt to GDP ratio. In previous years, what we've done is, and this from the 70s coming up, what we've done is stabilize the macro with an increased debt to GDP ratio. And that's the difference. And the fundamental difference, I think, is because of we've made the legislative and other fiscal changes that has allowed us the platform to do that. So when you see the ratios moving in the right direction, the debt to GDP, and you're still achieving that macroeconomic stability and a low inflation rate, which is key, then that for me
that raises a question which has come up in the debate, and that is that while the program is premised on the reduction of the debt to GDP, that the overall gross debt in terms of money value is actually increasing.
The fact of the matter is that even as an individual, the more income you earn is the more debt you can afford.
You can take on.
You understand?
Yeah.
In terms of sustainability, what's important is the relationship of debt to income.
Yes.
That is
and important. If your GDP is growing.
So if your GDP is growing, it means that you can afford to take on more debt.
Yes.
And even within a company, as a company grows, you can afford to take on more debt in an absolute manner. What's important is your debt to equity ratio in a company, which is similar to your debt to GDP ratio.
Yes. Your reaction to
that? So, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Chung just gave credit to a monumental change that took place under Portia Simpson Miller. The fiscal rules and papers, the legislation, is what has put us now in this position that we're at. The PMP is the father and mother of fiscal discipline and fiscal prudence. And also, it put us in a place where the economy should have been growing. But under the Jamaica Labour Party, they have been unable to grow the economy with the foundation already been set. Why is that? Hashtag stop thief. Hashtag stop full up your barn and full up your craw. Hashtag stop work for yourself and your family and your friends and associates. Market me. $80 million. For what? Ben Spunani? These are the things, Jamaica, that is holding us back economically by the Jamaica Labour Party. Stuart Arthur, Hydro, the drill, Cornwall Regional Hospital, gone from 2 billion to 21 billion and all, now it not finished yet. These are the things that is holding back our country. $3 trillion minimum unaccounted for, no receipt, we don't know where the money go, then just tell me say go there, so. Duplication of agencies, according to the Auditor General. Andrew Holness is creating an agency, creating a program that duplicates another program, but is less effective than the next program. The social housing program. And when the Auditor General comes out and talk about it, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. These are the things, Jamaica. These are the things that we can't move forward with. They are wasting our money. They have been mismanaging our money.
Fundamental point, because some people are behaving as if Jamaica defies international economic norms. GDP and debt is measured internationally as a ratio.
Yes.
One thing that we want the people of Jamaica to understand, the problem that international economic policymakers face. When we talk about those, we're talking about Janet Yellen at the Federal Reserve, Mario Draghi at the ECB, Mr. Kuroda at the Bank of Japan, Zhu Shuaishuan at the People's Bank of China, is what we call deflation and disinflation.
Yes.
In other words, prices are growing slower than they used to before, and in some cases prices are falling below zero.
Yes, right.
So we have an international economy that is faced with low interest rates and low inflation.
Yes, right.
Jamaica is a member of that international community, so it has spillover effects on the Jamaican economy. So if international fuel prices are falling and prices are falling internationally, then it will spill over to the Jamaican economy. So it's not rocket science that the rate of inflation is falling in Jamaica. When the rate of inflation falls, it means that people can buy more. So when we say the rate of inflation is 3.4%, it means that a dollar will give you $96.70 worth of goods and services, which is good for the housewife, which is good for the man on the street. That's all it is.
And which acts as a stimulus too.
As a stimulus to the economy.
Yes.
Yeah, so let us tell our people to treat and not fool them up. Yes, more purchasing power. We want everybody to understand how the economy works so that they can make more informed decisions.
To pick up on what Ralston said, I mean, the fact that we're in an international community, I mean, the absolute level of inflation is important, right? But more important is the relative level of inflation between countries. That I think is the key, because that's what determines your currency value and your interest rates. Right, because interest rates is the price of money. So the fact that we see that inflation is low and rates are marginally coming down, it means that relative to other countries we're doing well, because it means that we're able to maintain a stable rate of exchange, bring interest rates marginally down, and have a low rate of interest, which is a spillover. One other issue though, that I think that this year is going to be a better year from a growth point of view, because over the past, what we've seen is over the past year or two, significant private sector investments take place, which I think is going to start paying off this year. What we need to be careful of is that we don't have man-made things happening that's going to take away some of that growth. Like last year, the chickpea cost us about 0.5%, and the Riverton Fire this year cost us something. So what we have to do is take those as a learning and say, how can we prevent these things from happening? I mean, governance is all about risk management, you know, and reducing the risk of things going wrong. So then how can we do that? Because I think that going forward, we can have that growth. One example I use, for example, is that already in March, it's so hot. I think we could have growth conditions this year. How are we going to put the things in place now to mitigate against the effects like we had last year, which cost us close to 1% of GDP? You know, those are some of the things that on the ground, when I speak about how we implement and what we do and how far. These are the little things that we need to look at. So within the context of the framework of where we want to go, how are we going to manage that journey?
Precisely.
To ensure that we don't have anything that we cause. Because we have natural disasters already that we can't control.
So
let's manage the things that we
have to carefully manage. And just to expand on that, I mean, personal responsibility. The government has a responsibility. Private sector has a responsibility. Households have a responsibility. And individuals have a responsibility. So if we look at things like the construction and installation sector, we cannot be demanding the jobs that we are seeing where investors come here and they want to employ people, and we are demanding the jobs, but when you come on the site, you have to drink a Guinness first.
Touch some
You have to burn a spliff first. You have to talk about what the dance last night first.
Right.
That is not how the thing going international community. We're talking to the man on the street. You with me? We cannot have irresponsible reproduction without thinking about how we're going to deal with these things. And then so boy, it's Portia fault and it's Andrew fault. We're all have responsibility. So it's not somebody else out there. We're all in this thing together. And every one of us need to shoulder our responsibility.
So the
So you guys see how comprehensive of an analysis where the economy is concerned that Ralston Hyman gave alongside Dennis Strong at this point in this interview. It was more than politics, Jamaica. It was just the truth. They were very... You heard Dennis Strong talk about him seeing more growth in the economy this year, which was 2015. Yes. Because of what Portia Simpson Miller did. It was going in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. We were ripe for growth. But yet still, on record, even before all of the things that happened, you notice them talk about hurricanes, them talk about natural disasters in this, and how the government have a responsibility to what? Mitigate, to lessen these damages and still be able to get to as close as the target is as possible. All the government has done is maintain less than a 1% growth in the economy. And they blame it on Beryl, they blame it on everything Jamaica. But when you look at other economies that are parallel to ours here in the Caribbean, those economies have implemented things to grow their economy. One such thing was what Mr. Julian Robinson suggested in the parliament. He suggested an electronic system to track taxes in business places. It's not to take taxes that the government was not already supposed to get. Remember the part I played with Mrs. Christina Lagarde when she said there needs to be a tax reform to collect taxes that are being cheated from the government. That is exactly what Julian Robinson is talking about, in his suggestion, It's about the people that are evading taxes. It's not about pressuring people for more taxes. It's about giving the government the taxes that they're supposed to get because they can ill afford with the crisis that we have to not have those taxes. It's going to make the rebuild effort quicker with the pretty much. I have a house, Jamaica. You have a house. Your rent for the house is $60,000. See? And your tenants I give you 45,000 and I tell you say nothing nah go on. Them nah make no more money. When I lie them I tell them I make 20 times that amount every month, but yet still they want to cheat you of $15,000. You understand? What Mr. Julian Robinson has suggested with the electronic thing is to track the money where them earn so they can get the right amount of taxes from the money that they're earning, not to take more taxes from them that they never did supposed to give in the first place. It's not a new tax. It's giving me what I'm supposed to get, tax. That's what it is about. So the PNP is on track, right, with what the International Monetary Fund years ago told them that they need to do in order to grow the economy. And not only to grow the economy, but to also get us out of this hole that we're in regards to the last monster that just hit us, Hurricane Melissa. Who knows what is going to happen this year? Mr. Ralston Hyman said it in an interview with Colin Bell. From last year, they've been talking about it, that the money need to ramp up and accelerate the growth in the economy as fast as they can. You understand? The money should not facilitate teams rebuild teams, for properly construct back the people them building them all over the island as quick as possible. Get things back on track. Get the economy moving from the base level, because the base level is what moves the economy. More people are at the base level than anything else. These are sound arguments that was put forth by Abun to big up yourself. Yes, not increasing salary. Yeah, you can't increase salary too much, you know. You have to grow the economy. What's up, K Morgan? Right? Let's continue, guys.
Imperative now is that we do the right things, that that we don't postpone any further. In fact, the minister quoted former Prime Minister Bush Golding saying in 2009. So often we have postponed what needs to be done, waiting for a more appropriate time.
Yes.
But the time can never be more appropriate than when it is necessary, and when that necessity is so significant that it becomes an imperative.
Certainly.
Now is that time.
Now is the time.
Now is always the time.
It's not the time to put it off.
Yes.
Now is the time.
It can't be yesterday because yesterday gone.
Right.
And it can't be tomorrow because that would be too late.
And we have been postponing these things for decades.
For a long time. For a long time.
I'm wondering why we have the same results.
Right.
When we have been doing the same.
And then we engage in a blame game and blame everybody else except ourselves.
Yes.
So we need to be doing a lot more introspection and to see how we can contribute. As JFK says, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
And you know.
Mr. Holness, stop blame 40 years ago. We don't want to hear that in your speech. We don't want to hear that. I do that last year. Make sure say you come tell me what you are going to do now to grow the economy. That's what we need to hear from you and your Minister of Finance. We don't want you listen. The fiscal discipline and papers them there they are already. You're living in the time when you're supposed to grow the economy. We don't want to hear about Hurricane Melissa or Beryl or none of those things. You know about them, you understand what they can do. Do what you need to do. What you know needs to get done. The economy needs to grow so we can withstand those shocks. Not maintain where we're at. Every time you maintain where you're at and a storm comes and hit Jamaica, it chips away from what you maintain and bring you down lower. So if you carry it higher and more sturdy, you might get a little shaking, carry down to one level from 7 and probably carry down 6 or even 5, but at least you know they're way down at 0. Right now, you have been keeping us at 0 point something, almost 1%. We need to grow the economy. And stop coming out here and telling lies about the past. It does not serve us, the people of Jamaica. And Mr. Rassan said something. We the people have a role to play as well. Yes, when you got the people them work, when you have that style, when you come, when you burn one spliff, when you drink one beer, when I talk about the party last night, we need to be more efficient and more professional. Persons who are working at the healthcare system is the same thing. Persons who are working at the hospitality services is the same thing. And I'm not talking about everybody. Who the cap fit, let them wear it. You know yourself. But you guys have a respect when it comes out to tourism. What you do as a person working in those fields can positively or negatively affect persons coming back here to enjoy this country. So you have to act in a manner that serves the growth of the country. We all have a responsibility. That is a fact. But when the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. Let me tell you exactly when this interview was. This interview it's on the JIS website 10 years ago, April 2nd, 2015. It was posted. April 2nd, 2015.
One of the things that William Afula always speaks about is we need to now start breaking down the trust deficits between the various sectors, so that we can have we can disagree constructively, but let us know that when we disagree within the same goal, the same framework.
Absolutely. Hey, we had a great and stimulating discussion, gentlemen. Love you too.
As during the
investment and
experienced
the public should
than it has been over the years. So, you know, cost of electricity and available.
Trust me, this, yo, they don't want none of this, bro. They don't want none of this work, I'm telling you. Andrew Holness got totally demolished. Totally demolished. I'm just gonna play this video. I'm gonna play this video from a TikTok to close us out, ladies and gentlemen. I did this last night, you know, this video that I'm about to show you. I did it last night. Yeah, man. Last night I was like, man, I couldn't go to my bed. When I heard what Andrew Holness posted, I said, what? Is this dude serious, bro? He really came out here. He really came out here and just lied to the people, brethren. And repeated the lies from last year's budget after Julian Robinson totally destroyed and exposed the lies they told about no new taxes. How can anybody trust Andrew Holness after that? I don't understand, you know? I really don't get it. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this. TikTok. May I take you to one political clinic right now. Listen to Andrew.
When it comes to 15-year-old fiscal discipline, PNP, you are not the father.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you to Exhibit A. This article was written by a politician. This is a Labourite. Jamaica debunking the myths about the 1980s under Edward Seaga. Now, two things you need to pay attention to. You see right here, so? In the 1980s, when Edward Seaga came to power, the Jamaica debt to GDP was 63%. Isn't that what we're trying to get back to right now? So we can have growth in the economy? Mark that down. The debt ballooned to 262% of GDP in the 1989, which represents an increase of 315.8% in Jamaica's indebtedness over the 9-year period of the JLP Seaga administration. Jamaica, members say in 1989 that, you know, market date, you know. Pay attention to the same article right here, so ladies and gentlemen. Pay close attention. It says that Seaga, he seized on a distraction of the political crisis in Grenada, right here, so, called a snap election in 1983. Last time I checked, 1983 is before 1989. The PNP did not contest, so the JLP had all 60 seats in Parliament and 21 in the Senate. So Seaga had total control in 1983 with 60 seats in the Parliament, no opposition, and 21 seats in the Senate, ladies and gentlemen. Now, with that power, this is what he did. He took the debt to GDP that PNP gave him, right, from 63%, where we are trying to get back to 262% in 1989. That is 5 years after 1983. It is a 9-year period for who? The JLP Seaga administration. This man had total control, and he increased the debt to GDP to 315.8%. This is the highest the debt to GDP has ever been in the history of Jamaica. So I don't want to lap back come over here, so we are giving no facts and evidence. Go away, Andrew Holness is a liar. I want afraid for say that to lie. You know, have no shame. You come in a parliament after Julian Robinson destroy in a parliament and I come put up video on your Blows and Skirt TikTok page and I come lie to the people in Boa. Watch, listen to him. Listen to him.
When it comes to 15-year-old fiscal discipline, PNP, you are not the father.
See there? One day ago, Andrew always put this up on him page. All liar.
Your name called, but it is another Golding that is the father.
So Andrew always want to suggest, ladies and gentlemen, that Bruce Golding, you know, out of all of the Golding them in could have called is the father for fiscal discipline and fiscal prudence. Well, let me show you something, and gentlemen, when you look on the screen. This is the IMF official website. It says IMF lending case study for Jamaica. What does it say here, ladies and gentlemen? Since Andrew is talking about Bruce Golding as the father. After a debt exchange in 2010 and yet another IMF support program that went off track in 2011, which Prime Minister, who was the Prime Minister in 2011? So TikTok, see it there? 2011, Jamaica had two Prime Ministers due to leadership transition. Bruce Golding served until his resignation in October 2011. Andrew Holness was the sworn in on October 24, 2011 to become the youngest Prime Minister in the country's history. So ladies and gentlemen, when you go back to the article for the IMF, Andrew Holness' government was the one that was in power at the time. They are the ones that the IMF is talking about. Zine, and we're going to go back to it. They need to stop it and stop telling people lies and tell the people the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Let me go back to it. See there? In 2011, what happened in 2011? The IMF support program went off track. The country was on the verge of what? Economic meltdown with no access to the international capital market. Jamaica once again turned to the IMF in when? Spring of 2013. Let's go and see who was the Prime Minister in 2013. The Prime Minister of Jamaica in 2013 was Portia Lucretia Simsimila. Ladies and gentlemen, the PNP took over, went on their knees. I call her back. Hold on to Jamaica. Yeah, if you don't want to call in, you don't have to join the live. I'm send the link in our chat here. Yeah, because I'm not going to get to hear what she has to say or anybody else say. So I'm going to end. Hold on to Sassy. You hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you.
Alright, hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, on the other live streams, come over to this one. I drop the link to the live stream. So I'm gonna take calls now. So if you don't want to call in, come over to this live stream here. Go ahead, Sassy.
You know what, Bolo? Okay, so this week, this man is coming up to make his speech, right? I'm just curious. Why do you think he's taking it to this level where he, not only is he lying to the labor rights, but he's lying to us who are on the other side? And I'm just curious, what do you think is really going on with him, why he's doing this? Or is he not in a place of, I don't know. I don't know how to make sense of what he's doing. So I'm kind of messed up in my way of putting it out there. It doesn't make sense what he's doing.
What does
because
that?
In a second we can debunk it. Like, oh, you're debunking all this right now. We can do that. So why is he doing this?
Well, I would liken it to this. A dog is barking and somebody said to shut up. Tell the dog to shut up. But what does a dog do? The dog bark. What does a liar do? A liar lies. What does a thief do? A thief
Yeah, but you're
thief.
making your party look like a useless bunch.
Well,
I mean, at this point, I'm embarrassed for them.
Yeah, that I am embarrassed as well. But if you have no shame, it doesn't affect you.
I don't No, it doesn't make sense to me what he's doing. What he's doing just don't make sense. I like to make sense of things
Yeah.
when it's being done or when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And this does not make sense because the PMP them can come and just put everything in everybody's face like they just did.
Yes.
And, you know, like not anything, the facts.
The
truth.
facts, right.
So why are you doing this? It does not make no farmer sense.
Well, if you look at it, you know, what they have done is play. That's why I say the government is playing on the ignorance and exploiting the ignorance of the people, whether they are unwilling to read or unable to read. You understand? Because you have people lazy, you know. They're not going to read, they're not going to do any research, and they will not listen to the people that read or do research. So they find themselves in a conundrum. Them in a rock and a hard place and lava and water up on the other side. Them not have no escape. Them are going to drown and die in them ignorance. And I mean, and Jonas is exploiting that. He's exploiting that, this die-heartedness.
It's really embarrassing for Jamaica. It's really embarrassing for Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know, Juliet, she's another story all on its own, but I can't wait to see the outcome of all this week and what's going to take place because it's going to, and as Mark Stewart said,
yes,
big going to happen this week, right?
Yeah, I was playing it at the start. And it was interesting that Mark Stewart mentioned the wealthy people, because if you listen back to Apostle Shuttleworth's video the other day, he told the wealthy people that God is going to be targeting them in this country with precision. The ones that are not aligned with him. You understand? So everybody is going to feel it. It's going to be something, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he said he's not sure if it's in the politics or if it's the earthquake or whatever, but something big is coming this week, so we better just pull up for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my opinion.
All right, always appreciate you. You know what I mean? Salute to you.
All right, later, Han.
All right, sweetie. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the number to call is 876-451-6535. That's 876-451-6535. 876-451-6535. That is the number to call. You guys can call me on WhatsApp, please, so that the people can hear you. People can hear you in the comment section. I'm going to go back to Sir Byron and what he had to say about the FinSac. I'll go back to Sir Byron. This conversation here.
This is a disrespect for the money, you know, in terms of causing the financial meltdown. What some people don't understand. Who were also involved in the 90s financial meltdown?
Party Young, Kazri.
I'm Patrick Young?
Yes, ma'am.
Lucas Terry, I'm Patrick Young.
Yes.
What Andrew Holness is not telling people, how will Andrew Holness having association with Patrick Young, right? Carlos, right? And Lucas Terry. That is one of the reasons why Andrew Holness might join Olit.
Yes.
And in Olit, Andrew Holness robbed the investors. You understand? Because he was at the pyramid of the Ponzi scheme.
Yes,
he was at the top of the pyramid of the Ponzi scheme. And so then after EU, help for his friends is elite friends, right?
Yes.
Audit. If Ponzi scheme happened for the rock investors, they left Audit and went into Cash Plus. And then left Cash Plus and going to SSL. So back up now again.
Yes.
The same people who caused the 90s financial meltdown. No, you want them in SSL.
Yeah, man.
Look at how I'm now.
Of course.
No, you want them in SSL.
Of course. You want them, same way. I want them.
Look at how I'm there. No, his administration, they're trying to protect them now.
Yes, man.
The same administration are trying to protect them.
Yeah, man.
Bill Nigel Clark told a lie that FBI, right, is investigating. Tell
Yeah.
that on the United States FBI. That FBI is investigating.
He lied, but I didn't know
I said
that.
he's not going to leave. I said he's not going to leave with his stone unturned.
Yes, yes.
So then, okay. This is the thing.
Yeah.
Andrew Holness also, right?
Music loud. Yeah.
Remember that Andrew Holness, as it relates to people who, right, lost their money and couldn't pay the interest on their homes. Andrew Holness not benefited in terms of purchasing 2 of those homes.
Yeah.
Now, Andrew Holness, come on. Hold on there. I really, Andrew Holness talk about things that.
No, but yeah, when you know, but then Robertson talk to him, so you know that said Finsack are homegrown. Finsack are not, but drink even talk to somebody. In no sense, when we that be foolishness and talk about Barrel Light, I want them moment when he said, let me play with him, say Finsack our. You can't believe this, Finsack, the government.
Bad policies of the PNP.
Bad policies. It can't be a policy of the PNP. So when that said the PNP, if you leave Finsack, leave the world country rundown. Yeah.
If we're going to have a history lesson, we must just do it honestly.
Look at them put up.
FinSac was a homegrown domestic crisis.
So FinSac will be a crisis, a homegrown domestic crisis. FinSac was not a crisis, never yet. Wasn't a crisis. You never made on crisis and then you have FinSac, the government come from take up the back debt and straighten out that. Other country, we show you from US go right back at the same thing they do. Them even go further. Number 1 country in the world go right back. When I'm talking bullshit. Oh, FinSac could be a crisis, brother.
Total madness.
FinSac solved the crisis.
Exactly.
FinSac could never be a crisis. If you repeat this, you don't.
Of course, and don't.
Yes, you repeat when you say don't. You understand, Byron? Byron, you have a crisis. And you this is how I go and say, Byron. Say, you know, you can hide and barrel light. You remember you have this man. You sound like you're not bright night, I know. Oh, FinSac could be a crisis.
Okay, great.
Homegrown crisis. Go on, enough.
We need some milk.
Yes. Of course. Yeah.
No, watch this now. Number 1, things that did not predate the financial meltdown.
No.
Things that did not exist before the financial meltdown.
Right.
It is the financial meltdown.
The government respond to. Yes.
Yes. And what does FinSac mean in terms of its
Let us put up the meaning for them right now.
The financial adjustment company.
Yes.
FinSac is the financial adjustment company, right? That have to now deal with the situation that caused, right, the financial meltdown. What was the primary factor? The primary factor that caused the financial meltdown.
Let me read it for them fast. Now show them it. FinSac stands for the Financial Sector Adjustment Company Limited, a Jamaican entity established January 1997 to resolve a major financial sector crisis. It was created to acquire, acquire, manage, and restructure failing financial institutions, aiming to restore stability to the economy, although it led to significant industry, right? So it there stabilize the economy and clear up that instead of crash the whole economy.
Exactly.
So things are for be a homegrown crisis.
Come on,
that's the
man.
word when used. We don't understand this. It makes it sound very down together. Yes.
What Andrew Holness is not talking and telling people. One of the FinSac policies where Andrew Holness and Jamaica still using, one of the policy that came from FinSac to resolve the situation was the FSC. You realize that?
Of course.
Service Commission.
Of course.
That is how the Financial Service Commission came into power.
That's it.
Came into being.
That's it.
The reason why the Financial Service Commission came into being as an independent body, you understand, to manage now non-commercial bank and activities.
Yes.
It's on what Dan Crawford and
Martin Young and Crosby and
Martin Young.
Yes.
You understand? That is how the FSC came in, you understand, to resolve that situation now and to ensure that it's not a repeat of the situation. That is how FSC, the Financial Service Commission, came into being. Now, we could give them some speech. Now, what happened to the fact that, okay, the FSC has to now be established,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And the FSC now, people that fall under the non-banking entity, right, based on policies, they are not permitted, right, to give loans.
Yeah.
Non-banking entity, right, as it relates to FSC and provide oversight,
Yes.
as it relates to non-banking entity, they are not able to give loans. Alright, watch this now. Watch this. It's to show you that anti-Holness, you understand, was a part of what caused the financial meltdown. Even although FSC have that standard, don't we have SSL under anti-Holness administration?
Yeah, yes, man.
Wrong or right?
You're right, man.
Okay, SSC, SSL fall under a non-banking entity now.
Of course.
SSL fall under the non-banking entity.
Yes.
And it's not authorized to give loans.
Yes.
Okay.
True.
So why anti-Holness? Who is the prime minister of the country, who understand what happened to the 90s financial meltdown? You understand? Allow SSL, right, to be operating. Even when the People's National Party, right, close up SSL in 2030. To show you that anti-Holness is the first, anti-Holness and the GLP is the first who is responsible for the 90s financial meltdown.
That man.
Because even the 2020, when protesters tried to lock down SSL, you understand, because SSL at the time was suspected to be doing, taking away investors' money.
Yes, yes.
And as such, you understand, their license was taken from them. And here's the thing about this now. From then now, SSL actually did operating without license. Remember, so we learned this later now.
Yes.
Remember, so it is after SSL, big man them get charged. Big man now say SSL, they operate without license.
To the number of people.
You never know.
Okay, so the big question that you need to ask anti-Holness administration, why did they allow SSL to operate without license? That's the big question.
Of course. But you know, when me I say, when do him try to come with something, them and Big Mama and it not stick, right? Them come with like with the FinSac thing. You remember them come with the mothers of all corruption and traffic guru, and they make Strike 5 try the PPP members then. But remember that was no corruption again. So I leave traffic guru now. Can imagine eat that thing trick, you know. So I'm saying, can them right them that do fast check it. You can't make a guy like this and lead it to straight all the time.
True.
The guy go back FinSac, create a mash of Jamaica, which it don't make no sense to him at all. You understand? See, my brethren, JAMAICA say he's a homegrown terrorist, yeah. Yeah. 20-year-old man. I told what that thing I do. And he do some word, it show me say he's not really so bright then because you know say the FinSac is a homegrown what? What kind of foolishness him at all? Eh? Every country where have meltdown, them government go in and them nationalize, like one of them nationalize them bank, them take over the bank, them take over this, because remember them can't make the whole country drop, you know. Every country. And Byron, you're right. Because the FSC they come in to protect these kind of things too, you know. You understand? And then change up a lot of things. See? The man are in danger of smart. Be a guy with him that though. Yes, Byron.
So, but you know what? Me glad he came out with it. You know? So we know so when we come on Tuesday, there are all the evidence to show the people.
Yes.
People when you hear that? Tuesday, Mr. Byron a come and come surgically deal with Holness. We didn't lie them about FinSac. I know I'll be tuned in. Definitely. You understand? I guess I'm gonna do it today night because me know say I'll be tuned into Mark Golding's presentation in terms of his budget presentation on Tuesday. You guys can definitely making a commitment for that day, that time, 2 p.m. Log on to Bolo VNR. Live reaction to that budget presentation by Mark Golding. I'll be multitasking in terms of fact checking what Mr. Mark Golden is speaking about. Yeah, let's continue.
In that country, I'm not doing reality for now because Tuesday when we come out, when we run out, is another.
Lewis.
I mean,
Why you look at the back door? Let me show you, say, at the appear, you know. You say, you look at the back one of this, you see, food valves. So, you know, so this is when the last year, you know. But the budget debate, you know, and they put films that make him go and run him like fish at this, and then can't find films like him put this, you know. So it make it come like an industry Friday again. No, this store over last year or the year before. And him cut it out and push it up and I say, and no, we no recover. Eh? Can you imagine him go and in a 2009 by one, them go borrow money from IMF already. And default on it. More
Jamaica, I just come across a story a while ago that is so demoralizing. While I was listening to Mr. Wayne Nonso. Yo, I don't, what? Me confused. The other day, you know, when I went to help my friend, you know, move, you know, the driver was arguing with me about the youth, them don't want no work. And it's not a fault of the government and all of this. And so, I don't know what time it is, right? Anyway, engineer leave job to become a scammer. Now make me read this story because my jaw drop a ground already. My jaw is on the floor already, Jamaica. Yeah. Let us go to this article. No, I have to refresh the page, you know. I can't do that. At the start we are talking about, you know, no, this story needs to be read. This story needs to be read. Come on, Star, don't ramp with the thing. Alright, hold on. See if I can open it from my phone. Let me share it on my page. On my phone there. It says here that Marcus says he left the corporate world behind several years ago to pursue a far more lucrative but illegal career as a scammer. Da-da-dee. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, later tonight, PDTV News will be interviewing Mr. Julian Robinson at 8:45. Definitely something to look forward to. You understand? Tendonism. Shout out to Mr. Tendonism. Shout out to Unk. Alright, let me see if I can open this thing on my phone here, guys. See if I can open it on my phone. It's not opening on the computer. I want to read more into this article because this is super interesting. Okay, wonderful. It says here that working in the corporate area. Let me just touch the so you can see that picture right there. Working in the corporate area. See article here, ladies and gentlemen. Working in the corporate area sector. The now 34-year-old said he earned a little more than $250,000 a month. $250,000 a month is pretty much 60-something thousand or 60,000 after tax a week. Now, a lot of people, if they're making $60,000 a week in Jamaica, then would have feel look better. Not saying that $60,000 is a lot of money, you know, don't get me wrong. When they really look on inflation, the price of food, rent, and all those things, if you make $250,000 a month, depending upon where you live, you probably look on $45,000 for your rent. Per average, you probably look on $15,000 to $20,000 for your light, and you probably look on $7,000 to $10,000 for your water. You understand what I say? At a household, because more than likely you even live alone. You have your family or something, or you know you live with people, right? And not even your house, you don't own it. See? You have to pay for internet, depending upon your lifestyle and where you want to live. Those bills I'm talk about might be higher, or maybe even a little bit lower. Seeing? So, that. Going to work, you know, whether you're taking taxi or you're driving and you have to buy gas, that's another consideration where your expenditure would be concerned on a day-to-day basis. Again, if you have family, that money shrinks extensively even more. So you can imagine the person that is making, what, $16,000 a week? It's not working out for them at all. I'm just saying it really is not working out for them. So this is super interesting, guys. This is actually super interesting, this article right here. So anyway, he said it was stable, but it wasn't the kind of money people think professionals, especially an engineer, is making, he told the Weekend Star. So about 4 years ago, Marcus, frustrated by what he considered slow financial progress and influenced by acquaintances involved in lottery scamming, quit his engineering job. Today, he claims his earnings far exceed what he made during his professional career. Even though the income varies, some months you make little less than you bargained for, like a 2 mil, he admitted. Other months it's triple that, and a lot more than that I made in a year working corporate. So $250,000 a month, Jamaica. You know, you're looking at what? $6 million for the year? No, I'm sorry, $3 million for the year. No, so it go. Every 4 months, that's $1 million. Right? So $3 million a year. So you're telling me that he says right here that he would make more than $3 million in a month. Other months it triple. A lot more than what I would make in a year working corporate. It goes on to say that the Jamaica lottery scams have targeted elder Americans, tricking them into sending money or personal information under a false promise of lottery winnings. People them that is listening to me that are from the United States, why you guys keep getting Wagwan Splash Digi? Where you deal with? Too much madness going on in Jamaica. I know, right? Ubuntu says what? Ubuntu say whatever Holness is doing is making him too rich. He's not stopping. So hey, listen, like and share. Hey, big up Splash Digi, you know. Splash Digi, me love how you go on TikTok, you know. And someone you go on over here on YouTube too, you know, bro. You know. Anyway, right here, so it says that Marcus, a confessed participant. No. He says these schemes have caused significant financial losses and emotional distress, leaving many seniors vulnerable and fearful of trusting legitimate communication. Marcus, Splash DJ. If you can access the what you call it on YouTube, if you can access the super chat, it means you can access becoming a member as well. So check it out, yeah, if you see it. It says here that it leaves people, many seniors, vulnerable and fearful of trusting legitimate communication. Marcus, a confessed participant in the scheme, now lives in an upscale St. Andrew community, known for its quiet streets and large homes, a far cry from the communities typically associated with Jamaican scamming trade. People think it's just youth from certain inner cities communities who do scamming, he said, but a lot of people involved now are educated and come from good background. When you hear that, Jamaica? The scammer is telling you that the people them uptown involved in a scamming too, because them lifestyle where them a live, it hard to maintain, and certain job or whatever profession they have, a lot of the times is not, matching up to the lifestyle that they want to live. And to maintain appearances, what people will do, because them live one certain way and them look down upon people and them boast and them hype and them pride. So when the reality is hit, it is what it is, innit? Should I turn on the light, but sure. Anyway, he goes on to say that you would be surprised who are some of these criminals and who are washing money in certain businesses. You hear that? You hear that? You would be surprised, Jamaica, who are some of these criminals, some of them in our government too, that is washing money in businesses. You can stay there. Marcus said he grew up in the middle class Kingston household, attending traditional schools before eventually studying engineering. His move uptown was partly about lifestyle, but also about privacy. In communities like this, people mind their business. He explained, nobody cares if I show up in a full suit of gold. Nobody is watching you like that. According to Marcus, modern scamming operations often revolve around teams using multiple phones, laptops, and internet-based communication tools to contact victims overseas. He declined to go into specific tactics, but admitted that technology plays a major role. The real skill lies in reading human behavior and creating a version of reality that someone is willing to accept. Marcus also acknowledged that the lifestyle associated with scamming, expensive cars, luxury apartments, and designer clothing, it is what attracts many young people. Despite the financial gains, Marcus said he is aware that lifestyle comes with significant risk. But honestly, I don't lose sleep over it. Everybody out here is trying to survive in their own way, he said. The Jamaican authorities have intensified operation against lottery scamming networks in recent years, resulting in numerous arrests and prosecutions despite the crackdown. The authorities say the illicit trade continues to attract participants, particularly young Jamaicans, drawn by the promises of quick wealth and the lavish lifestyle often associated with the activity. Still, Marcus believed the practice continues to evolve. The game changes all the time, he said. While he does not publicly advertise what he is doing, what he does for a living, Marcus admitted that those close to him are aware that he no longer works as a civil engineer. When he asked whether he regrets leaving the profession he once trained for, he said, sometimes he said quietly, sometimes, but once you step into this world, it's hard to step back. Name changed to protect identity. So when you hear that, Jamaica, it's not that you don't want to work. Even as an engineer with his ambitions, he cannot, work with what they're giving him to work with. $250,000 a month was not enough for him. For him to, go after his goals and his dreams and live the lifestyle that he wants. Mighty God. It's crazy, man. Painland cries for after resident shot by police. So this is our next situation where them I say the police them. Kidnapped schoolgirl released from hospital, probe launched. Mother of 3 fighting to save her sight. Wow. Canada woman, Spanish Town man charged for a high-powered rifle seizure. What? Wait. A Canadian woman and a Spanish Town man have been charged following a seizure of a high-powered rifle during a police operation in St. Catherine. Wow. Are you serious? I'm telling you, of course, they must support Andrew. Andrew, no, poster boy feet, man. Andrew, I poster boy feet, you know. Charged our 42-year-old Christine Lewis, who has an address in Ontario, Canada, and Lime Tree Grove in Spanish Town, and 24-year-old Nakibo Foster, otherwise called Nakis, of Quarry Hill in Spanish Town. I guess it's true, you know. A lot of these ladies like bad boys. Wow. Anyway, you know, reports are that about 5 p.m. on March 6, police personnel from the St. Catherine South Division intersect a 2019 Toyota Probox motor car being driven by Lewis, who with 2 male passengers on board. During the operation, the man sitting in the front passenger seat reportedly jumped from the vehicle and escaped. Rotted. A search of the car was carried out and the police discovered a high-powered rifle lodged between the driver's seat and the front passenger seat. Investigators said a magazine attached to the weapon was checked and found to contain 6 rounds of 5.56 caliber ammunition. Lewis and Foster were arrested on suspicion of possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. Both were later formally charged following a question and answer session with investigators. Now, Jamaica, what me want to find out is how the lady come in. Oh, Miss Lewis was in the car. So she in the car when the man them have the gun. Oh, so she fully aware of who she a deal with. That's why she get locked up. Well, I guess we got some bad girls in Canada, baby. Lord of mercy. People, I'm going to leave it right there. I've been on for 3.5 hours. I just extended the time to give you guys an opportunity to call in if you desire to do so. But from what I'm seeing, only Saturday alone want to talk to me. And that's fine. Big up Saturday for calling. And big up the other people them where they are unavailable. Or whatever the case might be. And you have not called in. Alright. Again, make sure so you go over to Mr. Wayne Lonesome PH and follow the general on him YouTube page, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue to debunk the lies being spread by Andrew Holness and his administration. And also, we're going to focus on the solutions that Mr. Name again? Julian Robinson. Yeah. No worries, Splash DG, you know. Splash DG, you have to make sure say you see link them when I send you, bro. Follow the link them. So when we go live, I post the link in the WhatsApp channel. If you guys follow the WhatsApp channel for updates, you will be updated about most of the content that I post. As a matter of fact, if you missed a video, the link is in that WhatsApp channel. So let me just drop the WhatsApp channel link so all the people that are watching right now can follow my WhatsApp channel. I have 2 of them. I have 2 WhatsApp channels. One of them is for the other something there. You can follow me, you can join my WhatsApp group as well. So let me drop these links before I go. You see them there in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Before I leave, if you guys want to bless up, you can bless up the Cash App, you can bless up the PayPal, you can bless up the Zelle, or you can bless up the Super Chat. The Super Chat is available. You can become a member of the platform I want to shout out to the 3 members that we have: Matthew, Sassy 81, and Jain. Shout out to those 3 ladies for becoming a member of the platform. You understand? As the months go by, once you're a member for an extended period of time, you're going to get new badges. Also, for the people that become members, you have exclusive videos that only you alone will be able to access. If you're looking in the comment section right now, ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the emojis that you'll have exclusive access to as a member of the platform. So when certain things happen, you can react to them with these emojis. I want you to pay attention to the comment section. See? Look at those. I made those. I'm going to be making more. The more people joins, become a member, is the more that I'll be able to make. YouTube is gonna give me more options to make more of those emojis. So those emojis are exclusively for members only. All right, my good people. Yeah, man. So I have to at least promote the stuff them. The next thing that I want to share with you guys. Before I go is my page. All of my pages. Alright? Why not? Why not? Why not share the pages, huh? Makes sense. I think it makes sense. Here we go. So this is the Bolo VNR 2.0, right? Again, you can become a member, all that good stuff. When you click on the page, even on your phone, you're going to see more. You press more, and this is what you see, the description. Then you see the Magnitsky Act, right? The Magnitsky Act is at the top. When you click that link, you understand? There it is. I can't believe that we still need almost 6,000 more people to sign this act, and we haven't gotten it yet. With all the pressure that Jamaica is under. No, Jamaica, you guys really have to be. You have to be a part of your own liberation, you know. Come on, man. We don't need to sign this thing. Right? Big up Mr. Will Rattigan. He created this. People like Mr. Will Rattigan has given us the tools that we need. Right? See, now, this is my other channel, Bolo TBV. Alright? You guys can go check out that platform over there as well. Alright? Bolo VNR clips. Right? Once you go to the links of all of these, you're gonna go to another. You're gonna see the other channels. They're all linked together, ladies and gentlemen, right? The Zelle information is there. Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter for those who do Twitter. Right? That's my Twitter page right there. See there? Fully active. Understand? Fully active Jamaica. As a matter of fact, this one me use, you know. I use this one more. Bolo VNR. Yeah. This one is the most active I'm on. Who remember this? Oh my God. No, I have to play this before me left. Who remember this?
The people of Jamaica join with the people of Cuba in celebrating the life work of a great leader.
Somebody a call. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Bolo.
Yeah, man.
Me see I said nobody no call.
Yeah. Yeah, me I hear you. You have something in the background though.
Alright, let me tell
Yeah,
you.
man, you have to turn down that. Can't hear it.
Me say, Bolo, me I pray today and me I hear my spirit. I say, Andrew Holness,
Yes.
he no have no peace of mind, he worried, he afraid.
We say my tremble now.
Yeah, in a serious terror. In time is up. The time is up. I'm telling you
Yeah.
what I feel like in my spirit. Watch an earthquake and a tsunami. When me feel like my spirit, I know it's so close, 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 close.
Yeah.
No surprise next month. You understand?
My God.
You to see it after Easter. And Easter April 5th. I don't know what date it might eat. But me tell you, in my spirit, only watching face, you know, see your face, you know, happy.
One of my people them dreams one date feet, but me not talk it on the internet.
Lord Jesus, but when you tell me half year,
I don't know if that the date data come, but then dream see date in the sky and a disaster. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Dangerous.
But next month, you know, and next month, next month, we feel it close, in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so worried. In a no rest of my God, I deal with him because I know that Trump come to him. He's going to Trump come to him. But let me tell you, he's sending to go to prison. You understand? So, what tell you we're going to pray out now? It's when the earthquake and the tsunami hit next month, real famine are going to start at Jamaica. So, people who not survive it, people who survive the earthquake and never plant feed and not stock up. You understand? And people homeless and stuff. And he go and push people but they take needs to can't get help. So there's a big uprising will be taking place. And so me tell us, you know, you see after earthquake next month, watch my note to summer in gone.
My goodness.
Gone pan in private plane. You know how we are gonna find out? A satellite because no there be no electricity in Jamaica. You understand? I don't know but new international news media go come back down for the earthquake and the tsunami. So the international community by satellite. You understand?
Right.
What happening in Jamaica? But there's a remnant in Jamaica where God are gonna protect. And believe me, not all of the bad man them are go dead. Because in the street when God revealed to me, I think 2022, a bad man the repent come preach Jesus.
Yeah, man, God use them the type of people there as example, you know, man. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's why God vice cartel, but vice cartel now go turn, now go repent.
My goodness.
Now go repent until in time up. So that's one of the things that with Andrew Holness. So in Bolo, that in the remembrance we feel God today, God angry, you know. Jamaica in a trouble, angry with Andrew Holness is angry with Jamaica. Jamaica in play with them in talk to, but remember me tell you now. But say Jamaica now repent. God tell me for 22.
Yeah, you did not tell me that.
Now repent till the judgment come.
Yeah.
Andrew Holness take their peace and safety, but a son discussion and NTL in going Bolo by no to some of the earthquake are lit next month. And believe me, it finished. So once it lick, the people them remember me tell about the uprising where the Holy Spirit revealed the whole country. So people who left on hungry and I see they were saying got to go. And it's gonna be war in Iron my spirit. And the people they now backfire me and then afraid them and then me say have to come out and he have to come out. Remember I tell us I see him run per foot. He come out.
Yeah.
By no in time up. I pity no same time. I'm talking to you now, the Holy Spirit give me revelation. Hallelujah. In worried. The Spirit is saying is worried. Hallelujah. Praise God. Hallelujah. In worried, Bolo. Worried. In no such jump up put fire and 90. But in time up, him I go to prison. Remember me tell you that for a long time. say they go to prison. Nigel Clark, tough time I go to prison too. I don't know if American prison are down the prison, but he's going to prison. But there's a sickness coming where he's going to be dead. He's going to push him to become prime minister. I can't become by the time up. You go to work next year, a new election, a young people see the new election. You know, play the video with young people when say God talk to him.
No, me never played. Never played.
Run the video, man. Run it before you come off, man.
Yo, me I kind of listen to my mother upon that one, you know. Me just work with certain video, understand? Yeah.
That's in time up. There be a mighty revival they come out of Jamaica. Over me feel it. And whole heap of people go dead.
Yeah.
Whole heap of people they go dead. Hallelujah. Whole heap of people call God angry. Hallelujah. He won and he won and he won. A Bolo next month and next 6 months since earthquake in God. Till I want them to give them time to repent and they don't want to.
Yeah.
Tell her they nah, God said, nah, repent and come. And big fear, you know, they just say they run towards it. But the thing one, they on in blatant and in obvious of the email, lie them.
Yes.
See him.
Yes.
Come up and they lie to the people, but we lockdown. You see, we lockdown the country with the witchcraft.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't help on the people, they kill off the people, some of the people they can't start, they go on the day. But me tell them, man, you see, I tell them, I feel the angel them, they not come to pay them big and serious. Bolo, go and mash up them, they all become like rubble. All the altar them are clean up, all the altar them why have let down the country down there. The earthquake and tsunami, and somebody said they say, shut to work, somebody say volcano, a bit and the volcano. So fire them mill, some of the either water they carry out or what.
My goodness.
So dog near me supper.
Judgment.
Dog near me in no anything in pick out any kind. I mean not even know if it will spit a lit down in your house. I don't know if that
My goodness. No sir. Why anything possible right now?
Anything why ever use, dog, near me stopper. You understand?
Too much witchcraft and this, man.
One earthquake and tsunami, there be no power for him.
Yes.
No power, nothing to feed off. There's nothing to feed.
Yeah.
Stop them and taking try for using can't get the feed.
Them a praise themselves. Too much, you see me? So them not really deal with God, and them a deal with what them a achieve, and them a try to do everything else with fix the country instead of putting God at the center of it. Yeah.
Say them working iniquity.
Yes. Yes. Hey, more play that song there before me left. I went there. Say them working iniquity, Bob Marley. Hold on there. More play that song there before me left. Who the cap fit let them wear it? I say go. Yes. I played that song there before me left.
Time. He have little more months. He probably have about 3 more months left in that power. Time up.
Why am I just patiently watch and wait, you know? Just watch and wait. Anyway, you go, me know same time.
Let me tell you what happened, Bolo. The fear of God is gone from the heart of men.
Yes. Lovers of themselves, you know?
God. From the heart of men. God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Fear of God Almighty and His Son Jesus Christ and the Holy Ghost is gone from the heart of men.
Yeah, man.
They want Andrew not change, but they bind him like kingdom of darkness. He can't come out in a bola.
Yes.
Come out. All hell broke loose when he have to resign and run. Say the run go to state of Florida. He'll be running from churches to churches and no peace of mind. God go deal with him. All his wife, you think his wife forget me? You think his wife forget me? That the Jezebel there. That the Jezebel there. All hell broke loose. Me hear somebody write for your post. They see him, both him and Andrew sick it and get stroke in a wheelchair.
Really? In a comment section?
In I come.
Me miss that one. Them have to look back.
tell us that there's a sickness coming for him and he
Oh
go
yeah, man. Pastor Peter Chambers, the professor that for last year, say there's a sickness in him body. He probably hide it still. He probably hide it. The reason why.
And they plead with God, but God will not hear him. God will not forgive him. And
The reason why I'm not too talk about it, because it will not be said that me I wish to sickness for him. You know? You understand what I deal with? No. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not really talk about the whole heap. You understand?
we are the office there. We are the tell in time up, man. In time up. The whole spirit been said from last year, April. And I remind spirit every year, its time is up. Its time is up. Its time is up. Its time is up.
Man, oh man.
Praise God. Then they move. What's the time I come out in a share, man? In time up. In a more than like 3 months in there. It's gone. Nick. When the people them turn to Jesus and start repent, at that time God will fight for them.
Yes.
Fight for them. God tell me from 2023 say go raise up the people them angrily and run them out of power. That is really short. That's soon. And go raise up people them angrily and run them out of power.
Yeah.
This. After the earthquake and the tsunami lake. After the earthquake and the tsunami lake within next month. So in time, up while I see the kick up from post, chicken the men in the yard in here. Yeah, you don't know in time up, man. In time up.
Alright, mama, me have to wrap up this to that song here now, yeah, man.
Yeah, me go text your personally, I make your text. You tell me.
You know, so me not release it though, cause I was told not to, so me not gonna release it. Me just tell you say one of my family member then no, me not release it to no, me not say it to nobody. Me not supposed to say it to nobody. I don't want a discussion around it with nobody at all. Me not gonna tell the date, but at this year, you understand? Them see the date for this year. You understand? No say 40, look more.
Yeah.
Alright, respect. We are roll out that way, you know. That's all, yeah. Easy on the 1, 2, 3s, you know what I mean? Up Marley. How it go? How it go, man? To man is so unjust. Tell me they don't know who to trust. My God. Could be your best friend and your best friend, your worst enemy. Some will eat and drink, some will eat and drink with you. And behind this so about you. Only your friend know your secret. And only he can reveal it. I know that you're fit. Let them wear it. We'll pass the worst. 10 para-hypocrites and parasites. Take a bite. Come on, man, talk to them. Hold it for them. Would run away. I know that can't fit. Let them wear it. Easy bop. Easy bop on the 1, 2, 3s. You understand? Can't left out the word on the verse, you know? Yeah, man, you can't left out the word on the verse. Here where General I say. The way is being paved. Let me see that one here.
Of America or Donald Trump on a pedestal. Not to put the United States of America or Donald Trump on a pedestal. Far from it.
Let me just share my screen. Now I have to make sure so I go subscribe in Jamaica. No joke. Why am I not here?
But it's to help you to understand, not to put the United States of America or Donald Trump on a pedestal. Far from it. But it's to help you to understand how God is allowing that nation of the United States, led by Trump, to pave the way for a critical prophetic moment to take place. And that's World War III, because that's prophetic. It is prophesied that there will be a third war, world war, in Holy Scripture. And that will pave the way for the Antichrist to formally be introduced and to formalize the beast system. And then, shortly after that, yes, shortly after that, it could be 1,200 and odd days or whatever. But
What is happening?
not going there, right? Because as you know, the numbers and so on, they are symbolic and they have different meanings. So we can't be arbitrary. So I always move away from that. But we know shortly, and short there is relative. Shortly could be 3.5 years. Shortly could be 1 week, which could be 1 year, which could be 1 month. Because in apocalyptic literature or language, 1 week can be a year. It can also be a month, depending. So we have to now be watchful and sober and discern and ask the Lord to show us. So I'm not being dogmatic or arbitrary, but all I am saying is things are shaping up. Now, so the World War III is formally going to be announced at some point in time. That yes, this is World War III. Say it that way, but you will notice that it is. Right? And it will have colossal impact globally. Not just on the deaths of many who will die. The numbers that will die will be more than World War II, more than World War I, and other wars that have been fought cumulatively. So that will pave the way for the Antichrist, the beast system, to be formalized. And then shortly after, Armageddon will come. And of course, during that time, our Messiah, the Mashiach, Yeshua HaMashiach, will make his second appearance. Now, don't ask me for dates now. No, I will never go there. The Antichrist, Satan, would like to hurry things along. But that's not going to happen until certain prophetic indicators are satisfied, and those have been laid down by God in Christ. For example, we know that the gospel of the kingdom of God must be preached as a witness to all nations. That's a must before the end. Now, who is going to determine when that happens? Nobody really can determine that. Really. Because right now, based on the reach of the internet and all of that, and the availability of information, large parts of the world, for the first time, almost everywhere, would have been exposed to the gospel message one way or the other.
Yep.
So only God in Christ knows exactly when
exactly
that point will be met. When every single person who should know and hear about God and be given a reasonable opportunity to respond to the gospel message, it is at that point the end shall come. Now, what will that look like? We have an idea as to what it looks, but we don't know the full story. So our posture must be to be watchful.
Yes.
Right? To be sober and to be watchful unto prayer, even as we continue to obey the Great Commission. Okay? Not to put
So ladies and gentlemen, when I hear the people online, because I hear people criticizing the people of God online, you know, on different platforms. We hear them criticizing the people online when them say and them talk about Donald Trump and the war and the significance of it biblically. And what people need to understand and what I've got to understand and accept, God is sovereign. God has ultimate sovereignty. So God's word have to come to pass. And a lot of people don't like to hear this. Some people will be in the comment section sometime, you know, challenging stuff like this. But I don't go into an argument with nobody. Hey, do you? You understand? But God's sovereignty is the highest level of sovereignty. So God's word have to come to pass. Right? This Armageddon that the Bible spoke of, it have to come to pass. God word spreading all among the earth for everybody hear the gospel. Have to come to pass. So only God knows how much people have not heard his word yet. God knows that. So the process of going to Armageddon, obviously it's going to be one where wars are fought. The Bible talked about wars and rumors of wars in the last days. It talked about the beast system. Everybody in this side of the world should recognize the prophetic utterances from out the Bible thousands of years ago, right? These men prophesied these things, died, and it don't come to pass yet. That's why it's funny to me when I see people throw shade and cold water on Apostle Jeffrey Shuttleworth or Apostle Peter Chambers or Dr. Bishop Mark Stewart when they give out prophetic utterances. And you guys, oh, them are false this and them are false that. I'm like, have you read the Bible? Have you seen Revelation? Have you looked at Revelation pretty good? That's the last days prophetic words right there. And all of it has not come to pass, obviously. But look how long it was written. And those persons died. The prophet died. So you're telling me that persons were saying to the prophet when he was living, you're a false prophet, and then he died, not focusing on the fact that, yo, this is not the prophet's word. This is God's word being uttered by the prophet. For Christian, there's no greater time like right now where you're seeing God's words unfold in real time. The war in Iran is a part of that prophecy. There's things happening there that is blocking, God's actual word from coming to pass. So those things have to be cleared up. Nothing outweighs God's word coming to pass. God's word is sovereign over everything. Everything. God give it and he take it away. All that we have was given by God. The abilities that we have was given to us by God. We did not create ourselves. And whether you want to call God an energy, you want to call God it, whatever. The creator of the universe is the creator of the universe. There's an intelligence behind it. All of these mathematical equations that make up the earth and the universe was not a coincidence. Like, I think we're at a point in our history where knowledge is concerned where you cannot even argue if there's a God or not. Like, that is so foolish. To me. To me. It's very foolish to argue whether there's a God or not. No, you can go in a theological argument about, you know, who and whatever, and hey, do you? At the end of the day, the portion of this has to do with belief, faith. Those are the things you have to exercise. Those are the fundamentals you have to exercise. In any relationship, it's the same principle. You meet a girl. She says she loves you. Do you believe that she loves you? Or is she pretending to love you and at some point you find out that she don't love you? She was pretending that she loves you. But you take a leap of faith in going forward in that relationship and opening up to her. And for the ladies, opening up to him. It's the same thing with God. Without having all the answers, you surrender. Faith, belief. Some people might see that as weakness, but that's strength. That's not weakness. Some people are just scared of the fact, Bolo. Yeah, fear has a lot to do with it, but my thing is, some people, you know, give recognition to the devil. And I'm like, yo, you telling me you accepting the devil and you giving the devil credence. Don't you know that that means you believe in God? Because the devil don't exist without God. What you have done is chose the lesser power. What you have done is chose to par with, well, not par because it's not going to be a picnic in hell. Because even the devil are going to suffer tribulation. The devil not going to be the master of hell. The devil and the agents, them, all of them will break off. Everybody are going to face the judgment in hell. The angel, them, the devil, them, and the souls, them will last to the devil. It's not going to be a picnic. That's how me understand. You feel what I deal with? So, the devil just want to trick you out of your salvation because him knows that him not get none. Eh? Yeah. That's why, as my mother said, him time short. So he might try to accelerate things. I gotta block them. Because the way how him want it to go, that's not how God choose it to go. So it can't go like that. You understand? Yeah, him allowed for rain for some time. So you have agents of the devil who are work in governments and all over the world. We are push the devil agenda. Some of them unknowingly and some of them knowingly participate because they are worshippers of the devil. You understand? So these are just some of my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. I don't claim I am not perfect. Far from it. I have long ways to go. And yeah. That's just where I'm at with it. In terms of all of this. Yeah, we don't have no time. We ain't got no time. But But that's my time for right now on here. I've been on here 4 hours. Toodles. I didn't put out any video today in terms of uploads. And I think I gave you guys a solid show today. Probably 2 shows in one. In terms of the information and the breakdown. Alright. So thank you guys for being here. You showed up and showed out. And you guys definitely endorsed the like button. So thanks again, alright? Blessings. Again, share this video before you leave with 20 persons. So they can catch the replay and then can learn something. That's my time, y'all. See y'all later. Bye. Bye, Sassy D. Bye, everybody. The word is love. All of my moderators, big up. All of my gifters and donators and members of the platform, big up.